Are you going live?
And we're live in
That's
5,
it. We're
4,
live.
3,
We're live.
2.
We're live.
We're live. You guys are already late.
Oh wow!
I'm trying
Alright.
to make my background here. Hang on, just pause it for a second.
There's no pause. There's no pause.
All right, I got my background. It should be popping
There
up.
you go.
I'm gonna boost
Don't
the
see
numbers
through
and
my
I'm gonna be
eyes.
on it too.
You're
Boost
supposed to say that before we went live, Travis. All right. Well, I don't even know who's up in here. I think it's probably the people that are watching.
We got
are
3
probably
people,
us.
5 people.
One of them
This
is me.
great. Oh, sure.
I'm watching too, so I count as one.
Oh, that's great. That's great. It's just us. Yeah, that's cool. I think we may have picked an early time too on the Saturday.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, they got all
people on
the
the.
stickers. Hey, I don't even have one of those, asshole. Trade you.
I'll trade you. Sure. Oh, 7 people now. Oh my goodness.
There's a little bit of a delay from
Never
StreamYard
done
to
this
YouTube.
before. Yeah.
I'm the only one without a freaking cool background.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Where's your goose
Just
background?
put the logo, bro. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know.
No one's saying anything.
It's
Oh,
8 p.m. here.
Hello, BT Bird.
Yeah, BT Bird. What's up, man?
Welcome.
it's 8.
Welcome to Mobile Life.
So there's a pretty good delay. If you haven't picked that up already.
Quite a delay.
Mm-hmm. That bit.
Yeah.
It's a
Travis,
little
nice
slow
stock
now.
background, man.
Anywho, Kyle, you did keys today? Kids. Keys today?
I did, yes. This morning I
Alright.
did I kissed the key.
Mm.
I did a F250, F350 key. Just add a key. It's pretty nice up here. We can the supplier can do next day shipping, so order it one day, get it the next, and then it's pretty good for customers. They like that.
Your suppliers in Canada, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a couple hours
You're
away.
importing crap from the US.
No, it would take way too long to import.
So do you buy from a distributor or do you buy from like an actual company that makes the keys?
They make keys. They sell their own branded keys. Or at least they say it. They say it's aftermarket, but also manufactured
Okay.
by them themselves. But then they also sell like Ilco and everyone else out there too. Key DIY, and it's not bad.
Little Ilco.
Know who's on this chat here?
I don't know. Looks like we only got one so far.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
The gist of it.
Anyways, what else I did today? I installed a leveling kit in a 21 Sierra for a friend.
Yeah, how was that?
A what? A
Yeah,
leveling
they-
kit?
Yeah.
He's doing my kind of job.
He's-
You're supposed to stick to module sniffing, okay? I'm the repair guy.
Yeah. Sure. We'll do that. Yeah. I don't mind. You can. I only took it on because there would be no rust. Everything would be free. No, I wasn't going to break my back. Miguel, hello.
Yeah, Miguel, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
Miguel, for you other guys or guys here in the group, he's also mobile. He's in Florida.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Oh, dang. Cool.
It's hot in sunny Florida.
Oh yeah.
Wonder how much of a
Hey, so man, I didn't know
God.
that those Audi headlights had freaking fans in them. That was a new one
Oh.
for me.
Yeah, that's it's so missed, and the only way you know is for your first time is after putting the headlight in without the fan.
Hey, what year was that? What year was that with the fan?
2000 2019 Q7.
And it's
Yeah, and that's new.
It had a code
It's
for
all-
fans, and we I couldn't figure it out. Like I kept going like, well, everything seems good, but it kept calling for like an open circuit. I forgot what it was. But I mean, I'm gonna call Travis, and I called Travis. I'm like, hey, yo, did they change the fans? I'm like, what fans? They're like, they're inside. They don't come with the new ones. So I was like, let me go ask the body shop.
Yeah, and they're in older cars too. From I think anything with HIDs have the fan.
Yeah, because when I talked to the body shop, they're like, well, we got it straight from the dealer. It's not aftermarket. Everything should be there. And then when you told me, no, you actually got to open the back of it, take the little cover off and change it. I was like, oh, interesting.
Hey, after you reinstalled it, what did you have to do?
Nothing.
That was it. It's just plug.
I think the body shop me
Yep.
let me know they were going to tear it down.
You just plug it in and clear the fault. And you're
Oh,
all
so
good
you
to
don't
go.
have to do no initiation, no.
Nope.
Yeah, no fucking like
On headlamps, you don't have to do anything but aim them. At least for Volkswagen and Audi. So they're not like programming the headlamps unless you're replacing the any of the modules. So if you're reusing the modules and just putting a new headlamp in it, it's just have to aim it.
All right, so we got Lewis here. What's up, Lewis? So I guess I'll go first. I'm Don.
We'll
Obviously,
introduce
we're spot
ourselves.
on, right? I'm in San Antonio, and then I'll let the other guys announce themselves. Whoever wants to go next.
I'm Antonio Villanueva. I'm with Matec Diagnostics, and I'm located in Bend, Oregon.
Yeah, my name's Gino. I'm with Kaizen Automotive. We're located in Seattle, Washington.
Travi.
Oh, I guess it's me. Okay, so I'm Travis Ruiz, and I'm located in San Antonio as well. I'm the only one who is working in a shop, so I work for Goose Automotive as a team leader / diagnostic tech.
In other words, he's the man
Hi.
of the shop.
Yeah. Yes. Where's the? And I am the only Canadian. Eh? I'm Kyle. I run Volta Auto Diagnostics up in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. And this is our chat.
Yeah.
Our daily chat.
So we got a couple
Yeah,
things
for
we're
anyone
gonna
that
do.
doesn't know, we actually all chat every day. Like this is a normal chat for us on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
We chat every single day. All 5 of us.
Yeah, a lot of shit talking.
Sometimes
a
we
lot
just
of
listen to each other breathe. Yeah.
help. All right.
Other times we're just sitting there like.
Well, we got a few
Hear
things
the
we're gonna
fear
give
in
away,
someone
guys.
else's voice when they feel they fucked something up.
I got 2 Jarhead pulse sensors here. I don't know how well this is coming up on camera. Come on. No.
Hold them up.
You gotta put it in front of your face. Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. Is that better? There we are.
Oh, look at that.
We're gonna give away these 2 pulse sensors along with a Altel scan tool. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Simple code reader, good for quick checks. We're going to go through a case study, and as we go through the case study, depending on some of the answers, we're going to come to a group decision on who gets it, and then we're just going to pick a couple randoms for the pulse sensors. So, let's see here. Oh, Chad. Hey, what's up, dude?
Check Kelly.
Yeah, for sure. Man. Yeah, for sure. But I guess what do you guys want to do? You want to jump into this case study? You guys want to talk on a couple quick topics real quick before we get going?
We could just do a little chat
Okay.
if you want.
Yeah.
That works.
So, I mean, I don't know how many people here have listened to the podcast that Don and I were on with Sean Tipping, the Automotive
He's the man.
Diagnostic Podcast. Yeah. There we talked a little bit about what it's like going mobile. And I'm about 7 months in. Don is over a year in now. Just contrast between location and what we've learned. But we can talk a little bit about that, going mobile. And for those here who are interested, possibly, or already mobile, see James Miller just said hello.
What's up, James?
Hey, James. So, if it wasn't obvious, as we've already said, we talk every day, the five of us. And I'd say that's probably the most important part
You want the link?
of going mobile.
Oh yeah.
Just because we all bring our own little, flair and advice and help, and we all have our own specialties. Like Travis is the Euro guy.
Yeah.
Through
Oh,
and
yeah.
through.
No, yeah. I mean,
Dude, I always be blowing up Travis, man.
Yeah, Travis.
I'll
Yeah,
call-
say,
I'll call
man.
him
Hey,
directly.
Volkswagen
Like,
Audi, yo, Travis.
yeah, I'm in
Yeah,
the heat,
like-
man.
That guy's on speed
I
dial,
need
man.
you. Put the baby down, bro.
He's the lifeblood of our
What's
chat.
up, bro?
Also takes the most crap from Don. So
Oh yeah, me and
We're
Don
also-
have
we're in the
a
same-
relationship.
We're in the same city, so I see
Yeah.
Travis often.
Yeah,
so I talk a lot of shit.
they
to
go
him.
out for
Yeah,
lunch.
yeah.
Yeah,
He doesn't.
I-
He doesn't
you
go
know.
for lunch as much as we should. He doesn't love me.
So this is a good question
Oh,
from
there's-
Chad here.
There we go. Yeah.
Going mobile, what's the basics needed to get started, right? To start. One, I think where Kyle exactly was going was the network is one. You definitely want a solid network that you can lean on. That it's
Because it's tough out there.
yeah, it's honestly
Yeah,
that's the
there's some
backbone
crazy
of being
stuff out
mobile.
there.
Yeah, stuff that you don't believe.
Like
You're
the-
like, what in the hell?
Yeah, that's just
Why
it.
did you guys do this? And knowing how to
Or
backtrack
how
and
did
fix that.
this?
Yeah, how did we get you? You know, that's
Like, you
definitely a
mean
big one.
like body shops bringing in cars, batteries go dead, they jump it. Car doesn't do anything, no cluster or anything. They're like, oh, it's a blown fuse, and then the fuses are fine. What do you do?
Oh, like my Jetta
Throw a
that I
cast
went
out.
outside with.
Or
Yeah, throw
you know,
gas
they
at
go-
it.
or they're doing like an ADOS calibration and the voltage is getting low and they go to jump it and then they ground it on the PCM and then now the car won't start.
Yeah,
did
you're
not
like, bro,
happen.
what?
Yo,
That's-
man.
That did
Toyota
happen.
Sienna. Of all that did
my
happen.
God, dude, holy crap!
So
But
going mobile, you have to be. You can't necessarily prepare for everything. You just have to accept what's in front of you, and kind of just don't take everything that someone tells you for like as truth. You got to do your own thing because you can get burned. You got to get your own path. Like they can tell you how jump started it, and then this happened, and then we had a guy come out, and he tried a few things and stuff. So now you're trying to undo the whole story, get back to where what happened initially, and you kind of have to brainstorm. All right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. It's a lot of time, I'd say.
Yep. Another thing on top of that is all the service info that you can get. Honestly, information is huge. Having the correct information, multiple outlets does help, especially with wiring diagrams. You get some that, I mean, you think it's this connector, this circuit. You see this purple wire here, and then you go to it and it's not there, and you're like, well, what the fuck? And then you go hop on Identifix, and then there it is. It's supposed to be an orange wire, and yep, there it is. There's the orange wire. That's your circuit. That's one thing I can say
I've ran
too is
into
very
that
vital.
sometimes.
Is
All the wiring
the service
diagrams are
info.
wrong.
You just got to find the one that's least messed up, right? I mean,
God.
another thing that's like basic that's needed to go mobile, I think, especially like if you're just starting off, is to have a device where somebody can remote into it, like a 909, right? So that's like Autel Remote Expert. So somebody can remote expert into it and program your GM, PCM, TCM for you with a OEM software if you haven't had, the chance to like learn it yourself and you're in a pinch, so somebody can, make light work out of that. Another thing is having a card app, which is like very versatile with like OEM softwares. It's super compatible. So that's why a lot of people start off with like the Card Act 3. Right. I started off with the Card Act 3 because, I was recommended it by Don, who was already mobile. So just like, those type of things that allow you to be more versatile, versus like, oh, I just have like one scan tool. But that one scan tool can allow me to connect with like another mobile technician who's, more experienced and can, help me get this job done essentially. Instead of being like, oh, I can't do this.
I have another tool that I don't.
Walking away from it. Now you're going to lose that client and, not be able to build that relationship. That's what it's really about. It's like being able to say yes and go through with it. Even if you didn't do it yourself, as long as like you got it done for them some way, somehow, that's really the whole point of it. That's how that's how it grows.
Most shops don't care about specifics. Yeah, exactly.
The moment you
get the
say
job
you
done,
can't, that shop doesn't want to talk to you no more.
Yeah.
You're done. You're out of there. They used you. You're done.
So guys,
you can do everything.
There's a little bit of a delay. Our viewers, we're sorry. We apologize from when we speak, and I guess from when you guys hear, there's some latency there. So we may be ahead from your questions. So we're going to come back and revisit your questions. So don't think that we are overlooking them. We're just letting it catch up to our count, and then we're coming back to follow up. So next question here, Miguel. For the ones doing ADOS, how are you guys getting your foot into body shops? Man, this one is a good one for Gino. Gino does a lot. He probably does the most ADOS out of all of us.
So
yeah.
I can't. So how do we get? So one of the main things is like be prepared. Like have, like having like a full MA600 kit, like ready to go, and being able to like say yes and go through. That's one of the ways that we get our foot in the door, because a lot of the times, if it's like a first time shop, if it's a first time experience with a shop, a lot of the times it's something very difficult, like something that it's not a common calibration, like an Audi, like peripheral or something, right? Or just a lot of like the European stuff or something like that, like a big calibration, like I want to say peripherals, one of the ones that we get ourselves in the door with. Just having that equipment first and foremost. Another thing is getting yourself in the shop, getting your foot in the door, and you just gotta go in and drop cards off, and like you're gonna be told to like fuck off, like 8 times out of 10, but you just gotta keep going and keep getting those 2 for every 10 that you drop off. You just gotta be persistent.
But why do shops tell you to fuck off on their when it comes to ADOS?
When it comes to ADOS,
yeah,
because they don't want to seem like they need your help, because they have like this like ego, like, oh, we send all of our stuff to the dealer, and they don't want to seem like they're in need of assistance from another like independent repair service.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel about it. Man,
this is
ADOS. I'd say ADOS is one of the most like booming sectors in the automotive world. And like once you get going, I would definitely say like have another team member or something, like have a team, because like if you're gonna claim like you can do like all these ADOS, you got to be able to meet their requirements as for like being able to provide service within like a timely manner. And if you're not able to provide service within a timely manner because you're just one person, then you're going to lose that client. Like Airbag Services is going to come in and do their thing. Tech is going to come in and do their thing because they have guys on deck. So if you're really trying to get heavy into ADOS, I'd say like get good at it, but start training another guy with you, because he's going to help you grow your business. Or if you guys are partners, you guys can grow, your businesses together. But yeah. You guys want to chime in on?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't do ADOS because my shop don't do it, so I have nothing to say.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Kyle's over here. He's I looked at some of his invoices, and he's in CarStar, right? That's a chain.
Yeah. Yeah. So I can do a little bit of ADOS. I'm looking to definitely grow. I'm looking at the MA600 kit. As of right now, I mainly do radar calibrations and some windshield. I got into it because I have a local friend who has his own windshield company, and he can do windshield calibrations. So he ran into an issue programming a car or trying to do a calibration on the GM or something, and it needed programming. So I showed up, I did the programming, and he did the calibration. And then that was kind of like my foot in the door for CarStar specifically. But I went. It's the thing you'll notice is when you start mobile and you start going to shops, everybody knows somebody, or like this shop does a lot of work for this shop. And there was one instance where I walked into a shop, did business cards, said everything I did, and the guy I was talking to texted me later that day, and he said, "Yeah, I gave out all your cards. I went to we service this body shop down the street a lot, and that was Assured Automotive, and they're fairly big up here. There's like 7 or 8 locations in my town." And then I think like a week or two later, he called me. He's like, "Can you do a front radar on a Toyota?" I said, "Yeah." I showed up that day, and he was happy. And then he kept calling me back. And then because they're a chain, all the shop managers, or whatever, he told a bunch of other Assureds about me, and then Assured started calling me. And it's besides just walking into a shop and saying what you can do, it's for my specific instance, it was like a shop who services a body shop a lot. They do a lot of the subframe replacement or mechanical work or whatever. They're the ones who recommended me. So it was definitely cool. Like there was no obligation on that shop at all to recommend me. I was just some random guy walking in off the street, and he started handing out my cards for me, which is incredible. So, I mean, we at that shop now, we have a good relationship, and yeah,
So
that's how I got started.
This is a good comment here. Sorry, Kyle. This is a good comment here. A lot of targets involved when you do a lot of makes. So one thing I'm going to bring up, I mean, I know the answer already, but how do you guys do this, right? Like, Gino, how are you transporting what you have?
So it's like, for instance, like we carry like the common stuff, like the cone radar for like Toyota, which also applies to Honda, which also applies to Nissan. So a lot of like the basic stuff, like we carry like all the time, 24/7. Like I said, like the cones, the targets, like the small ones for like the Hondas and Toyotas. So we carry the common stuff, but when it comes to like we're doing a forward recognition camera, right? And it's those big boards, that needs to be like a 24-hour notice minimum, because we don't carry that in our vans. Right now, currently, we roll with 2 Siennas and 1 Prius. So though only a few of those boards can fit in there, and we don't carry one of them 24/7. Like we don't carry one of them normally. So I would say, as for like ADOS equipment, just you'll start to learn what's common. You'll start to learn that you're always gonna want that cone handy.
That's
what else?
That's the
I'm
one.
trying to show it. Yeah, I'm trying to show it.
What else is common other than that cone? There's more common stuff. I just can't.
So Toyota windshield in service information, they literally say print this target. Make sure it's 180 mil. So it's like that's the easiest. Toyota, as far as that, is the easiest. And then You get small targets for Honda. I don't know what else is small. Is the Subaru one small? I think Subaru one's pretty big.
It's big. Yeah, eyesight's
Yeah.
just as big
Eyesight's big.
as like Audis or Volkswagen. But
Yeah.
yeah, if your question's referring to like carrying all the equipment, I like starting out, I don't believe you should need to carry all the equipment, or you don't need to carry all the equipment as long as you can get that equipment within like 24 to 48 hours of being noticed by the body shop. I think that's fair, especially with like dealerships being like 3 to 4 weeks out. I think 24 to 48 hours is more than fair for you to ask ahead of time. As for like prioritizing which like targets to get first, man, I guess it's whatever like your budget can afford. Start off with if I was to start off with something, like if I was really going for like ADAS, I would start off with like getting like some targets for Volkswagen and Audi, right? Because like the Toyota and the Honda stuff are pretty cheap. But the reason why I say Volkswagen and Audi is because that's going to help you guys get into body shops. Because what I have seen from my own experience in this area is a lot of providers for ADAS, they lack like European support. Like they don't really they don't really carry that stuff because a lot of these companies, they mainly are glass companies, and they'll do like the front windshield. Maybe they do have Volkswagen, Audi front windshield, but they're not going to have the peripheral. They're not going to have the backup camera. They're not going to have like the Doppler for the front corner. So, and that's what's going to get you guys like into these body shops, is having stuff that the other person doesn't. The other person is going to have the Toyota stuff, is going to have the Honda stuff. So, because it's easier to get. And if you guys are, all coming from that direction, it's like, it's a lot harder to make yourself unique in a sense.
I think it's important to, when body shops ask, hey, can you do this? You have to tell them like, yes, and this is what I need from you. Like, hey, I actually need the bumper off to do a Hyundai blind spot because I need to measure the angles. And then they'll be like, oh, the bumper's already installed. And it's like, well, I can remove it, or if you want to remove it before I show up, just like, or like, hey, at the Audi, I need a lot of space in the front, or yada, yada, yada. Just, you can work with them in that sense. And it also just makes it a little easier when you show up. I've noticed. Like body shops I go to, they have a space for me, like a certain, like this is my stall. Yeah, good old Honda.
So this is a good one here, right? Because this guy's Robert. Hey, what's up, Robert? He's in a commercial truck, so he doesn't see much ADAS. So yeah, ADAS is pre-collision, driver assistance systems. They don't prevent the accident. They obviously help to prevent the accident. But I mean, you can still have all the ADAS in the world, and you can still get an accident. I think. There's just a big misconception.
There's actually, yeah, I saw a video recently. Big semi truck was driving down the road, lane keep assist, and then a white truck drove on the left side of it, and the whole steering wheel shifted toward the truck. So it's interesting. Now, I mean, you could ask, was it calibrated correctly? Was it calibrated at all? Yada, yada, yada. But the systems are not foolproof much. And there's a lot of, I would say there's a lot of fear mongering around ADAS in the automotive world. Like if you're not using OE stuff, it's not good. I mean, that can open up a whole debate.
Chad brings up here.
Yeah, there you go.
He brings that up. OE hardware and software only for ADAS. I mean, like Kyle said, it's.
I mean, I prefer to use OE. I prefer to use OE.
Yeah,
but can you buy it?
Like if I can.
Is it
Yeah.
back ordered?
I
Those
mean, if
boys
you-
are expensive.
Yeah,
Okay, so-
no, that's what
hardware.
but that's why I put that. I prefer.
Hey.
You know, if OE is possible, I'd rather you go OE.
Sometimes
Yeah.
aftermarket hardware is actually better. Like I'll say this, like the cone for Autel is way better than what Toyota has or Honda. Way better.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
And the picture on the screen, that is the OE Honda. And all it is PVC and a rinky-dink aluminum cone. I mean, it's not the greatest, in my opinion,
It's
as far as
think
quality.
when it comes to like doing ADAS and like OE hardware, we have a little bit of OE hardware. Most of it is like the MA600 kit. And we will start going towards OE hardware when we can afford it. But for now, we're using aftermarket stuff. And to be honest with you, like front radar for Audi, the mirror that switches into 3 positions, right? It's like this big square mirror. It looks like almost identical to the one that they have for like their VAS kit for like Audi Volkswagen. So, and it works the exact same. Like I've used it like probably 20 times now, and we haven't had any issues. We've actually used that mirror with Otis, right? And Otis is happy with it. So if the OEM software is happy with it, I'm saying, you know, there's got to be some sort of like, similarities with the OE hardware or something. You know, like it's not too far off, because the Otis software, it's pretty accurate when it says like, okay, adjust like a little bit to the right, adjust to the left, you know, the screws and whatnot. So it's it knows what it wants. So we've gotten away with aftermarket hardware. So I don't think you absolutely need to have OE hardware to start off with, but it would be nice to have. I will say that it would be nice to have for everything, right?
So to add to that, when you go to like a Volkswagen dealer or Audi dealer, their setup would involve an alignment machine too. So they've got a whole front kit, and then the corners are all set up and stuff. That's not mobile by any means. And if you bought targets for a Honda, that isn't going to fit on the Volkswagen rack. So that is the benefit to aftermarket, is they've set up a stand that can calibrate and hold targets in the same position that OE wants. It's it's like anything. Do you get the OE part? Do you get the Dorman part? Do you get an aftermarket target?
And essentially, it comes down to what's available, right? And what gets the car out. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
you don't want to jeopardize quality, of course, but I mean,
no.
there's sacrifices that need to be made as far as quality goes versus getting a car back on the road. Now, of course, you got to use some judgment. And is it safe? Is it not safe? You know, is this doable? Is it not doable? You know, and there's where our professional experience has to come into play and say, hey, you know what, this is acceptable by the standard, whatever the standard may be. Because I mean, realistically, people are going to drive their cars. I mean, whether we say they're okay or not. I mean, look, the car goes into a shop for a multi-point inspection and brakes are down to 2 mil, rear main seal's leaking. It's got a fuel seepage on this fuel line. And what do customers do? They'll drive it. They'll drive it till it breaks down. I mean, yeah. You know,
Don't change the oil.
I'm sure Travis still sees a bunch of this still being in the shop,
man.
you know.
Especially in the part of town I'm in, I see a lot of that.
I don't mean to jump ahead in the conversation, but Chris here, Enright Automotive. What's up, Chris? He said all the OE targets we used when I was at the Honda as a tech were cheap, super wild, and 98% of the guys weren't aiming correctly either. So I just want to add this into the fact that us as mobile technicians, when we give the car back to a workshop or a customer, we have everything laid out. We have the specs, the screenshots, the setup. You know, we're following everything to a T. For that exact reason is liability. Now, the alternative for body shops is to go to the dealer. And what does the dealer write? They write down perform BSM calibration. there's nothing else. Did they set it up correctly? Is there any proof? But the insurance companies take that as like gospel almost, you know. It's like, well, it's going to the dealer. The dealer is the end all be all. So it's there's not as much integrity as going to the dealer as we'd like to see, which puts us in an interesting position as well. So it's a good point.
Going to the dealer at all is not what it was back in the day, right? Back in the day, being a dealer tech, you were top of the line. You were great. You were a phenomenal technician. Now it's us who are the better technicians than majority of the dealerships, right? Because we care more about what we're doing than the people who are doing it as a 9 to 5. You know, you don't see dealer techs sitting on here on live YouTube talking about the pros and cons of what we do, because they're clocking out at the end of the day and not continuing their abilities.
Yeah, see, and Chris wrote, that's a big deal. We never supplied the customer with anything. Yeah, same here. I mean, I worked at Toyota. Gino's also a former Toyota tech, and it was the same thing. You know, we got calibrations in, and I mean, in our stories, at least I can say for myself, I just be like calibrated, whatever, front radar, calibrated BSM, whatever, test drove vehicle, no concerns, dude, no concerns found, good to go.
And then you flag your 3 hours safely, knowing you're gonna get paid, and you're just like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
So
you don't worry about anything, you know?
Oh man, yeah, because you had a huge overhead. It says you're untouchable at a dealer. Someone asked about, yeah, there you go. L4, yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, L4. Nolan, thoughts on L4? Well-written test. Out of all the ASC tests I've taken, I liked it a lot. It was very, just the wording, just as far as solely speaking, it being written, really good written test. I liked it. I think there was some good questions in there that would definitely separate the guys that are just throwing cones out in front of cars and clicking a button. Very good test.
And then you're three degrees out. Oh, let's move it over a bit.
Yeah. Grab this. It says completed. It says calibrated.
It passed, right? No lights.
Green is good, man.
Go, baby.
Doesn't it also go into like diagnostics? If like say something doesn't take a calibration, like why is it not taking calibration? Like what's the possible causes? Is it like too much lighting? Is it like the environment? It'd be environmental. Like are those like, you know?
Yep. Is there a small divot in the floor and you're not exactly on the same plane because your measurement's off? There's so much to consider.
I think Antonio's running into that. I think Antonio's running into that whole floor difference on a Mazda, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, you remember that one? Yeah, then I had to go rent out a space at a shop so I can be able to do it because it kept failing the calibration. I had no space, and then I looked really good. So I was like, yeah, I can't get it in here. It was just borderline, almost there, and then the space, the road, the floor was off, and yeah, it just kept failing. So I took it to another shop. Instantly, man. As soon as I set it up, just passed it. Everything was beautiful.
Or lighting. We can't forget about lighting, right? I mean, when I was at the dealer doing a VW ADAS, we sometimes had to turn lights off or turn more lights on, or because we had freaking lights coming from the ceiling, and it would ruin shit.
Yeah, I've noticed that with like, you know, forward recognition cameras, like if they have like the garage door open and it's failing, like that's the first thing I go after is I have like, oh, we need to close that garage.
I had that.
There's too much lighting. And as soon as we close it,
I had that on a Toyota.
Hit the button, it goes complete, you know?
Yeah.
I had a car parked in front of mine, and I had the front board up to do the front camera calibration for peripheral on an A7, and the guy's headlights were flashing and causing it to fail. I had to have him turn off his headlights.
Yeah.
All right, I got a question, and this is gonna be for our viewers. And I guess the first one to answer correctly, they're gonna get one of the giveaways.
Uh-oh.
Which color pulse sensor? The black or the red? Well, you should let them choose. Let them choose.
Yeah, I'll let them choose. If you're doing
It's a good thing
front
I'm in the
radar,
chat too.
yeah, if you're doing a front radar calibration on a Toyota Camry,
Oh man.
right, millimeter wave sensor in the front behind the Toyota emblem,
Yes.
will lighting affect that calibration?
You
I just want to see what
think
our
Nolan's
audience
gonna
knows.
answer? I think Nolan's gonna answer.
He's gonna.
Well, he don't count.
Hey, he
He
can't,
don't
he
count.
can't answer, bro. No.
No,
Yeah, see, look, there he is right
out.
there.
See, there
He
it
don't
is.
count.
There it is.
He don't
He
count.
wins. He wins. He counts. He's a viewer. I'm sure he has like 7 pulse sensors, so it's okay.
Nolan's later. Robert Pope, you're right, my man. Shoot me a PM, Robert, and I'll get it sent out to you. Yeah, Nolan don't count, dude. All right, so Nolan, to speak about this, Nolan is the guy that got me networked in with a lot of people. I haters. I used to reach out to him. I used to reach out to him on LinkedIn, right? I used to reach out to him on LinkedIn, and I was just getting into scoping, and I'd be like, "Hey man, can I pick your brain? Hey man, can I pick your brain?" Every time, and every time he would say, "Yeah, go for it, dude, whatever." And I would shoot him my captures, right? And I would tell him what I think. And one day I shot him a message, and then he's like, "Are you on Facebook?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And next thing you know, bloop, I got thrown in a Toyota group. And then that's how I met Isaac. And then, well, everything took off. And that's how I met Gino. And it's funny, just, you got a simple message to somebody was like, "Hey, can you help me? Or can you show me what this means?" And it's funny because that gatewayed me to an open door, man, where I just started meeting all kinds of people. And but if I never would have messaged him, man, I don't think I'd be here, to be quite honest.
Yeah. Actually, Nolan actually introduced me to like aftermarket training. I was actually at the dealer. He was a master diagnostician, and I was like certified / expert trying to become master. And he's like, he was like mentoring me, right? And then he introduced me to the independent training. And that's when I saw the world.
You saw color for the first time.
Exactly. Like I didn't know that the automotive industry was so big and that there was more like options like available as a career,
Yep.
And so like, yeah, man. And then after Nolan introduced me to like a lot of Toyota MDTs who were in the know of like the independent repair world, right? That's when my my direction started changing, because of his introduction. So yeah, man, sometimes it's just it's like who you meet along the way, really. That's your direction or which way you're going. So
be kind to people and help out when you can.
Yeah, so thank you, Nolan. I appreciate you, man.
Hey, Robert, throw what color pulse sensor you want in the chat there. I got red and black showing up.
What's this right here with Chris and Ryan?
Yeah, you with Kyle.
That guy. Me with him.
I'm in this big old brain and this Pico scoop catcher.
Oh gosh.
Which that's a good segue to a case study.
Case study. I wish we had like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? The lights drop down. Oh, we got a question. What's the go-to scan
That's
tool?
a question.
OEM.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Otis all the way.
Otis all the way.
Now, you would get mad at us if we didn't use the OE tools. Remember, Don?
Yeah.
You got OE, use OE.
What do you mean you use?
Yeah, but I mean,
We
we're
got the
talking
OE
this
tool.
generally.
Why aren't you using the OE tool?
Yeah, well, I hold you guys to a higher expectation. Okay.
My favorite go-to scan
Thanks,
tool, if I
Dad.
had to really choose one, the MS-909. That's my
I agree with
go-to.
that.
If
How many
it's
people here
less
have
than an 08, like 07, maybe a Snap-on. You know,
Yeah.
just depending on what version. But my 909, I like it. Like
Yeah, that
it's my
909
go-to
is
for all the new
that
stuff.
909 has some power behind it, and just in capabilities.
All right, so
Yeah.
if you had to pick between a 909 and a 608, because I'm still partial to a 608 too.
Ooh.
Okay,
You gotta
that's
pick
like
one.
but
You got
like
you
that's
got $5,000 to spend. Which one are you picking?
I'm
608
buying
or
the
909?
608. I'm buying the 608.
I'll buy the
Probably
608,
608.
and so I'll buy the 608 so that I can get enough money to buy a 909 because it's
My
faster.
man.
Yeah, I
The
have to pull
909
the trigger on the 608.
Yeah,
You know, I think I could make it with the 608 and a little Ethos snap-on one till I can get a 909 and just make it happen.
Yeah.
Right on, right on. So I think, Raul, your question's been answered. Get a 608, get a 608, and then get a 909.
Well,
allow you to
we're kind of Altel biased, right? Don't ask these guys about freaking anything else if it's not Altel.
No, I rocked the snap-on up until this year. I rocked the Varus for the longest time, man, and that thing made me. It is a
Don't let
powerful
Don hear
tool
you.
as well, but no, because it is. I'm not
Winkler
gonna
is
lie.
in this chat.
Hey,
But then the
but
909 though, geez.
here's the thing, like what scan tool to go for? Like it depends. Like
It does.
car?
like for is are we
Like I
referring to,
won't grab the
for
909
mobile?
for an 04,
Are
03
you doing, like,
Chevy
locksmithing? You know,
Class 2
like,
serial data.
if I wasn't
Yeah.
doing locksmithing,
Yeah.
I'd probably still go with the 608.
Yeah.
Because, okay,
Right.
here's the reason. Because when you're diagnosing, right, and you condemn a module, and that module needs like cloning or EEPROM, right, because it's locked and like you can't get it anymore. That 608 will make you look like a Superman.
Mhm.
You know, when all these modules are on back order, like that 608 has a lot of module cloning capabilities that not a lot of people know about or have the capabilities of doing. So that Intel will allow you to like stay in really good relationships with these shops because you're able to do something that not a lot of people can do. So that 608 is definitely an enabler. So
Just FYI though, I don't own a 608. I have a 508, and I love it.
have a 508 too.
That's what I rock all the time. The 508 has got me through whatever I need as far as cloning modules like Gino's talking and doing a bunch of EEPROM, and that with the XP400, man, you're set.
All right, guys. So Taylor Dean, for those who don't know, if you guys are on Instagram, you guys need to go follow this guy. This guy is one of the hidden gems in the industry. His Instagram name is Definitive Diagnostics. All right.
Oh,
this guy is a wizard.
Okay.
A wizard and a half.
Yeah.
I run to this guy for a lot of questions. I'm like, hey, it's me. I'm back. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Hey,
I have this
Brad.
sports
It's
one
me
part.
again.
Help me. Yeah. You know the meme.
Just followed him.
The Joker from Batman. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I message him and I'm like, it's me. Hi, I'm back.
Hey, yo, Robert Pope asked a good question, Don.
Are there OE bootleg OEM programs? We have them on the truck side. It work flawlessly. So there are.
Of course.
Loaded question.
Yeah, it's a very loaded question, and it's also
That is, yes.
it depends on the person. I'll tell you that much.
Hi, baby.
Only problem with a lot of these bootleg stuff is that they're not always flawless. So you just got to be careful in that regard.
Yeah, the just like anything, when you got bootleg software, let's say, there's probably chance things go wrong and you got no support, and now you're in more trouble. Like, hey, I got this module. Yeah.
Hi, baby.
Well, look at that. She wants to be a part of it, Travis.
No server connection. No server
She
connection.
just woke up a little late.
It'll always be bootleg programs. Same with these new secure gateways that they come out with.
Hmm.
Yeah,
But-
that's true, man. The Chinese are very persistent.
When you don't have the right to repair act, you got to make things happen.
Yep, that's very true. What is Taylor Dean's IG? It is Definitive Diagnostics. Oh, there you go.
Dude, oh, we should answer Chris's question here. Oh, Raul has got one too.
I always got
What
one.
about lab scopes?
What about lab scopes? Well, what about them, man?
You don't always need a Pico, damn it.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
this
dude.
much, man. In a shop, you want. Let me rephrase that. You always want a scope, right? Because you need to be able to see what the hell's actually happening in a circuit.
You want to watch TV?
Now,
The pinpoint test is not foolproof, right? If you're just following service information, you got to think outside the box sometimes, and other times it may not be for any good reason, but now you've just confirmed that, like, yeah, CAN is good, or I have a weird issue. It's a CAN communication concern. I will say though, being mobile, you tend to resort to a lot of the what can I do first? What's the first thing that's going to get me the most information? Am I going to just power on ground, test light, headlight? You know, you have to learn when to use it, when to rely on it. Like when you're pulling out the scope, you should have reasons to, not just I'm going to do this first because I have time. Because when you're mobile, you don't necessarily have time.
I have time.
You have time.
I have time. I have time.
so Chris, with another one here. Do all you guys charge a flat rate to go to a shop? Depends what it's for, man. Personally, my diode price is one price, and let's just say like I have a parasitic draw. Well, hell, that's another price. And if it's a network communication problem, well, that's a much higher price. So it varies on what it is. A lot of that one comes from experience and not asking questions when a shop calls you. Because early on, you first said, "Yeah, I can go and do it," because you're just excited to get a phone call and you want to get out there and get business. And the next thing you know, you're out there and it's 4 hours in. You quoted it only for $150, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
it's not very smart in a business sense. So, but that comes from
first days.
experience. Yeah, I mean that comes from experience. I mean, you're not gonna know unless you're out there doing it. Because starting out, man, if you have no business acumen from previous experience, it's easy to burn yourself underquoting jobs.
Mhm.
You like it?
I think it's yeah, like it's like job based. Like for instance, like if it's like lost communication, that's like I'd put that at least like 2 hours. You know, like whatever your labor rate is. Say it's you're 150
start.
bucks, so like put them out for like 300
Yeah.
bucks at least, right? Because
To start.
lost communication with a module can go, so
Any
many
which
ways.
way.
You can go so
But
many ways.
not just one module. What if the whole bus is down?
Yeah.
And you're asking for more.
Multiple lost
You're
communication.
like, yeah, that could be a wild one, you know?
I got it.
Yeah. Anytime
Mhm.
you have a chance, or you may be pulling out that scope, or you have to pull out that scope, that's going to be an expensive ticket for sure.
What am I?
But also, you could drive yourself nuts. Like, I saw the squiggly in the can line. I know what it is.
What are each of
What is each of your favorite cars to repair? Man, honestly,
Go first,
dude,
Don.
I'm gonna say a GM, dude. Just because networks are easy,
Gross.
service information is easy, connectors are easy, and they're the fastest for me. Honestly, the GM are like, okay, This model shift from here to here. If we have a network problem, I am looking at an ABS module, a trailer brake control module, or a connection. Like I got them narrowed down to here, at least here in Texas, in my area. Like I know, like this is it.
My favorite used to be like Toyotas and Lexuses because they're hella easy for me. Because like I was in Toyota for almost 10 years. But now it's like Audi, Volkswagen because I got Travis.
I was gonna say Audi, Volkswagen.
No, but like the European cars, for sure. I've been tending to be more I guess more driven into like wanting to diagnose them. Not only like do they pay more, but it's really interesting like understanding how they work, because I used to be afraid of like European cars, because I just didn't understand like how they work, and they're like really complicated with like with all their modules, and like their security is usually higher than domestics and Asian vehicles. So lately I've been a lot more curious about working on the European cars. So it's starting to change from Toyota to Lexus to your Audis, Volkswagen, Mercedes. So
I'm biased,
I have
obviously.
to agree. Yeah. I'm on the same page with Kaizen. I like the complicated ones. Don't get me wrong. I like the GMs and the Fords and the Dodge, because that's what I grew up.
I got you, Nolan.
Don has a story about this one too.
Yeah, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Which one?
The one where I brought you to my shop for the first time.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so for anyone that missed it earlier, Travis and I both live in San Antonio, right? So I met Travis through Kyle through Instagram, and ironically, I ended up going to his shop one day to go actually meet him. And anywho, I'm there looking at a car, and another mobile guy serviced his shop. So it was a little awkward because like we saw each other, but it wasn't like, hey, we talked to each other.
It was like a stare down, like Wild West.
Yeah, it kind of was, because like I'm in the parking lot. I don't, was it the Jaguar or I forgot?
No, it
Who's
was
got the bigger van?
wasn't it the, oh yeah, you know what? It was the Jaguar. No, it was the 7 Series.
Yeah, it was after the Lambo.
Yeah.
Or was it the 7 Series?
It was the 7 Series.
Okay, no, yeah, it was a 7 Series BMW, a Frankenstein car, and anywho, yeah, it was kind of weird, man, because he kind of like looked at me, I looked at him, and I'm still like new to the shop, so like all I really know is Travis. I don't know anybody else really in the shop. Now I know most of the guys, and we're pretty cool. And I walk by, allow them to say hello. We're I shoot the breeze with them, but yeah, it was a little awkward. It was kind of like my guy. Just here.
What's up, guy?
Yeah, what's up, dude? Yeah, but
how big is
he didn't seem too
van?
friendly to see me. I mean, yeah, he didn't seem too friendly to see me. So, and then Gino's had a couple too.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, the one time that we had a run-in with a mobile guy or a mobile service, they're actually a nationwide company. We just got done doing the calibrations he was supposed to be coming in to do, because this body shop, they called in us and like other like service providers, other mobile services, and we happened to get there first. And this company is their should I say names or this company?
No, I mean, our names are displayed, so
hey, fuck it, bro. So this company is the company that we were working for. The body shop was called Caliber Collision, right? So they have an in-house mobile technicians called ProTech. So we just got done doing like 3 calibrations on 3 different vehicles for Caliber, which we got called in for, and ProTech shows up and be like, hey, we're looking for these vehicles, and we just me and my partner kind of look at each other funny, like we just finished those cars, right? So that was hella awkward. But they weren't they didn't look too upset about it. They just went about their day, and we cleaned up and left. And another time where we encountered another mobile technician was ProTech again, and this time what ended up happening was they were doing an ADAS calibration, and the voltage was getting low, and so they decided to put a jump box on it. But what they did was they put a jump box on the positive terminal, right, on the fuse box. This is a hybrid, 2021 hybrid Sienna. It's a hybrid, so the battery, I believe it's in the back. I think it wasn't easily accessible, and so they, put it on the positive terminal in the fuse box, but they grounded to the PCM bracket because it was, it's right there. So they ended up,
It's right there.
they ended up frying the ECU, but they did. From the looks of it, when I got there, they did try to spend time diagnosing it. They had like wires out. They had fuses moved in different locations. But when we got there, we ended up doing like our due diligence, testing powers and grounds to make sure that it is an ECM before we just assume it is, even though we've seen it before, right? Tested our powers and grounds, confirmed it, and then they had an ECM there, right? It was in the car. Surprisingly, these guys already had the ECM, a brand new ECM, and they said they plugged it in, but the vehicle still wouldn't start. What I did was I plugged it in, and I saw that it wasn't paired, right? Like it didn't have any VIN right. So I'm like, okay, they didn't VIN right it. Basically, it just needed programming. So they were on the right track of thinking like the ECM was bad. It's just that they didn't have the ability to program it and marry it to the vehicle. But once it was married to the vehicle, all I had to do was move one fuse over that they moved, and vehicle started up, no code, so everything was good. But yeah, those are the only two times that I've been face to face with another like mobile service. Nothing negative though. Like I don't think there was anything negative because out of that, because we came out to help them, there was much respect on both sides because they actually called us out. They entrusted that with us instead of taking it to the dealer. And then I think we're in good relationships with that company.
So another one Nolan had. This is a good question too. Anyone's service or former place of employment?
Yes.
I do. Yeah.
I do. I do that daily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a few times, but nothing like nothing weekly, nothing monthly. It's kind of random. But I'll tell a short story about that one real quick. The first time my old employer called me was to program a fuel pump control module, GM truck. No big deal. I show up, it's still a no-com with the new one plugged in. So everyone was out to lunch, so I just started poking around and I found a fuse that was corroded. So I had
that was the one with the Devo, right?
No, I didn't use I just used a test light for that one, but it was super awkward.
Oh, a test light. A test light.
Yeah.
We don't talk about test lights.
Yeah.
Test light. Test light.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Anyways.
Oh, we could do the next one.
Say again?
You could do it the next one. The test light.
Yeah, what about it?
Giveaway.
I'm confused.
Oh, we're giving away my test light. Okay. That's my bench test light, but okay.
You don't need it. You don't need it. Give it away.
That's my bench test light. Well, how about this?
Marco.
We got the other pulse sensor here, so I'm sure everybody has a test light. I'll let one of you guys ask a question and figure
Wait,
out.
one of us or one of the viewers?
No, one of you guys ask the viewers a question.
Let's let Mad Tech ask a question.
Yeah, Mad Tech.
A Devo giveaway. Oh, God.
Oh yeah, stop it. I'm getting that Devo giveaway.
Let me think about it.
All right, we can come back to it if we need to. You guys need to take a question. I asked one. So I asked one. All right. Hey, and by the way, guys, all these giveaways, this is all contribution from the group here. They're not coming specifically from one person. So We're just doing this because, well, we this is what we do, man. This is this industry is what we're about. So, yeah, we all just contribute to this. But I guess what's next? Case study questions. Actually, no, I got one I want to bring up. I'm gonna poke y'all's brain live here.
Oh, come on.
This is my buddy Ali, right? He's here in Texas. He's in Dallas.
All right.
This is his company, right? Dallas Auto Diac, right? So he has a 17 Challenger or Charger. I already forget. But it won't shut off. Push button start. It starts with the key. You go to hit the stop button. It won't stop. The cluster, radio, all that crap turns off. Engine stays running. No codes. Where are we looking and why?
What car?
17
Dodge,
Challenger. Or, yeah, 17 Challenger V6. All right.
Well, that's the problem.
Okay, I got a question. I have one question.
New car, maybe.
When you shut it off and the engine's still running, do you still have communication with all buses?
I don't know. We'll wait for him to comment. I don't have that answer. I know very little. I know he's been dealing with it, but I was busy today in the chat and I couldn't keep up with it. I tagged myself
obviously
to come later.
Yes,
the PCM's online still. Calm with everything.
Marcos, it's a car, so that's a problem. Yeah, I agree with you.
Marcos is
so. Ali said yes. So yes, you do have
calm with
communication.
the
Okay,
so the bus is staying awake, but it's not registering ignition off.
So what was that guy like? Is that a wind module on that year? Or
how does he shut it off? How does he shut the engine off?
Pull the battery?
Oh, I don't know.
Probably pulls the battery.
I imagine your ASD relay, right? Because the ASD relay never opens.
That's what I was going to say. Is the ASD relay arced together? Pull the ASD relay. Okay, so does the ASD relay actually function?
It has to because it starts. Right? So if he pulls it and puts it back in. No, but if he pulls it and puts it back in, that's not running, right? So then you hit the start button, then it starts. So
yes, but if the ASD relay cannot unlatch, it wouldn't matter if you pull it, it shuts off, right? Okay. And then you put it back in, it's stuck together. It doesn't mean the car's going to start until you have to start it.
Okay, yeah.
PCM,
so I'm not sure what the ASD relay is.
ASD relay. Okay.
Yeah, I work on Euros.
ASD relay is the anti-shutdown relay. It's very common on Chrysler.
Right.
Okay.
PCM keeps the ground on the ASD relay.
Why is it ground at all times, or is it sent to ground by the PCM after the car starts? Yeah,
it's sent to ground. I think ignition on, and then when the ignition off, it takes the power away. Tip them.
I love this answer. I love
tip them.
It's always the tip them.
Always the tip them, baby. Anyways, all right. Well,
no short to ground.
Well, you guys can marinate in that. Let's see. Faulty push button start. I had a Mustang. That would turn off by itself and turn out to be the button. Interesting.
So I was going to ask, since the modules are still active, even though everything shuts off and the car's still running, you should be able to see live data. And you can see if you've got the input for the start button. Push button.
Drive it off a cliff.
I like that guy. That guy's good.
We have train tracks near my shop, so every time we have a shitty car, we're just gonna push it over to the train tracks and say got hit by a train.
Wireless control module. My question is, does it have any aftermarket device on it?
So, yeah, Chad, this is a good question. I don't have one readily available, but we're gonna get into a case study in a little bit, and we can come back to this if everyone's still hanging around.
He's got us 5 dummies and 18 of the smartest people here. So
Yeah, so we're about
We'll
to
figure it
this
out tonight.
We'll fit it somehow.
You know what? Just pull up a wiring diagram and we'll just troubleshoot it live.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Yeah,
I want to see where this push start goes. Where does it send? And then from there, I want to see how it functions.
Well,
So
let's
it probably
see.
goes to
Let's
the
figure it
RF
out.
hub. There's no, so it's not an ignition. It's a, if it's a push button, it's got an RF hub.
We'll
Let
find
me
out,
finish
right?
my
Yeah.
shawarma.
It's okay. It's okay.
What's the VIN? I'm just joking.
Let's see. Give me the
Send
VIN.
VIN. Send VIN.
Send VIN.
Just-
Send VIN, please.
Do
Donation.
the VIN donation.
Push start
You
to
hear that a
RFH
lot.
to PCM to PCM. Look at this. This guy, he's already got the command down for us. All right. RFH to PCM to PCM.
So where are we gonna
So
look?
what MOS?
Stop, right? Starting and charging.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we want
yeah.
the ignition.
All right.
Well, that
So
would
what
be
do we want to
starter.
see?
I don't think that'll show you the push
Mhm.
start.
Body control. Yeah, you're right. It's just gonna control the relay.
Yeah.
Not to do that.
Keyless ignition node, add ignition switch. That's not. We have a push button, not a keyless ignition node. Oh no, it would be a node just with the button installed. My bad.
What are we gonna look at? BCM, body control, start key. Where's security, right?
To answer Chad Kelly's question here, we need to know what keeps the engine running. I think it's the fact that the PCM isn't removing the ground from the ASD relay.
Where is it?
But is it receiving a command to do it? Is the question.
Well, that's what we got to figure out.
Where
The
is
ignition
that?
switch is most likely CAN bus. I need to come install a battery on someone's fire alarm.
Oh, someone keeps beeping. Not me, man. My fire alarm is brand new.
I got no beep too.
I don't have a fire alarm.
Oh, he lives on the danger side.
I think you're crazy, Chris. You're losing your mind, brother.
It's his fire alarm that's messed up. That's what it is.
Guys, we should do this more often. We like video chat, and then I'll say, "Hey, can you pull up a diagram for this car I'm working on?" and then just navigate it for me.
I thought that's our normal life, though.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, because I don't know where to look for this right now, honestly. Ignition on
You're
off,
making us look bad,
output,
Don. You're
transmission
supposed to be the
system.
fearless leader.
Well, I'm over here. Yeah, I'm lost now, right? So let's
Ignition
just
off.
tabs.
That's the
I'm just gonna click
transmission.
around, make
You know
it look
what?
like I'm doing something.
Look for the silver bullet on Identifix.
Yeah, no. Actually, let me pull it up right now.
Where's Winkler when you need him?
Wink.
Wink, give me a bullet.
Could you get Daddy some pretzels?
Yeah, look up
Nope.
powertrain management engine controls.
Yes, sir.
$5 on the powertrain management. Yes,
He
thank
said
you.
do it right now.
Yeah,
Right
right
now.
now.
Oh, yeah, let me. Powertrain
You're right.
management, engine controls.
Down. Down.
All right, so what?
He said
There you
down.
go. Oh, sorry, no. No, it must have been lagging. All right, go to ASD. relay.
ASD. What do you want? Control OP.
Control OP.
Ground,
ASD
ASD
control,
relay
dude.
control. Oops.
Oh, I hate that.
Yeah.
That's just gonna go to the fucking. That's just gonna go to the ground side of the relay, which you already know, right?
But is
Yeah,
it
so
there?
what?
Or is it there at all times when the car started? That's the question.
And this is gonna be power from your fuse, the other side of the coil, right? And then we're gonna send power out to 87.
What would
Right.
keep that wire grounded?
It's gonna be an input, right?
A
What?
bad driver.
All right. How can you not turn off a car, right? You can't turn a car off if it's in gear, and when I mean in gear, not in neutral.
You can turn a
If
car
the-
off and drive.
No, you can't.
Not a push start. Yeah, you're right.
No,
Single
you can't.
must drive. Yeah.
And if
What?
you have the door open in drive in gear, no.
What year
Yeah,
was
these
this
newer
again?
Chrysler's won't let you.
17.
They'll just put you in park.
17 Dodge Challenger. What engine?
Yeah, challenge it with a 3.6
Oh,
Pentastar.
man, sorry, man, you got me thinking now. Pull out my light.
Look at this. Look at this.
Pretzels?
Live stream diag right here,
I'll
guys.
get them.
Or
3.6, you said?
3.6
Go, go, go,
engine
go.
diagram.
I'll be the The
I'm with
moderator
Chris
here.
on this. Identifix. Where's that silver bullet? Let's go over there, Chris.
Yeah.
You're not on the same page. We'll let these guys look at wiring diagrams. We're gonna go look for the bullets.
I'm just watching the screen.
Yeah, sure.
I'm off
Yeah,
hours right now. Actually,
I don't have service information. Hours.
No,
I'm sending
TA.
someone an invoice. I don't know who.
We can send to Dallas Auto Diag. He's got money. He's got a lot of money. That guy.
Does he? Perfect.
He's
What's
my
your
buddy.
email?
Awesome.
It's not an RT. That'd be. I got.
No, it don't matter. It's a 36. It don't matter. All right.
Imagine.
Service.
Top
manuals.
search. It's 340.
Actually, you know what? Let's go back to home.
Wow.
Car doesn't shut off.
I would.
Oh no.
And this guy said he's gonna give his VI3 if somebody finds the answer, bro. Oh shit!
Hey, Ollie, don't play
I'm
like
on all
that.
data right now, bro.
All right, guys. I'm gonna head off the chat. I'm gonna go and figure this out.
All right, there's no bullets. What do we do now, Chris? And right, what do we do? There's
Chris
no
Enright,
bullets.
what do you do
dude.
next?
I know there's no bullets. Come on, help me.
Okay, right.
I'm on team
Right,
bullets too.
I'm on
ASD
team
relay.
bullets.
Type that in.
ASD, huh? ASD relay.
We could just chuck a PCM at it, dude. That's it.
Yeah, let's do that.
Get out of here, Mr. 8
Nah,
Coils.
That's
Eight coils and a
that's
PCM, bro.
That's what, a JPEG 2 or JPEG 3? I don't think it's gonna work. Probably a 2.
It's probably 2. No cranking. Fuse
Gear shift assembly. See, I thought this too, to be honest with you. You know why? Because I thought of your draw problem, Kyle. Honestly.
Yeah, the draw.
But it's not a rotary shift though. It's a fucking lever, right?
Yeah, a gear shifter. I would say what. So you've done the basics, you've got live data, you're saying everything's working, something's keeping that module alive or keeping it grounded. You could do things like just unplug the gear shift, disconnect fuel relay. Well, that would definitely kill the fuel, but we're not.
Find out why. Why
the ASD relay is grounded. What was the question?
I thought. The question is.
Yeah, let's recap here. You go.
We have a 17 Challenger, and the problem is that once the vehicle is running, right, it's a push button start. You start, push the button to start, it runs. Then you go to shut it off. You push the button again. The dash and the cluster will turn off, but the engine doesn't. So,
but you still have comm with everything. Obviously, the PCM is awake.
Correct.
Is does he have communication with the cluster?
That I don't know.
I'd like to know why do those stay on? It was shut off and the rest still does he have?
That's a good point.
I'm with Raul on this one, man.
Like, I'd like to know
why does the clusters turn off but the PCM not? That's a good question.
Yeah. So I'd like to know what separates what signals inputs do those two get that say the PCM is just to keep it alive.
Speaking of
this ignition person.
Taylor, real quick. Speaking of boot mode in a VW cluster, I'll message you later. I got a good story for you.
Kind of, it goes from the ignition,
MQB beta
ignition
system.
node down to the radio frequency hub, right?
Are you sure you see it change? Well, yeah, if the cluster turns off.
Yeah.
We could get way lost on this.
Oh yeah, so that's why. So now that that's in your guys' brain.
Let's move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, we couldn't
I'm
fix your
reading-
car for you.
I'm reading service info.
We're good.
That's fine. That's fine. I know. It's all right.
It made us look bad. Why you got to hit us with something so hard?
Because this is mobile life. This is what it's about. Figuring out hard shit. So.
Why does the cluster show?
Oh, hold
Case
up.
study.
I got
Whoa.
something.
Okay, go ahead.
Let's
What
go
you got,
back for 1 second. I
Okay.
don't know if you read this in service info, but it says
No.
after putting the vehicle into park, pushing the KIN's go button allows the vehicle's engine to be shut off. In an emergency, pressing the go button continuously for 2 seconds or repeatedly, one hit every 30 to 500 milliseconds will cause the engine to shut off when the vehicle speed is greater than 5 miles an hour. I wonder if it can shut off while it's moving. That would prove out a few things.
I'm gonna grab another beer though.
Anyways. And it says, in the case the ignition switch does not change with the push of a button, the RKE transmitter may have a low or dead battery. In the situation, a backup method can be used to operate the ignition switch. Put the no side opposite of the emergency key against the go button. Yeah, so use the key to push the button. That's also a good thing. Maybe it thinks the key left the car, but it's weird that it would start every time. Just a thought. I don't know.
If it doesn't come up on direct hit, it can't be fixed. That is true, man. I can agree with that one.
Nolan said sounds like a two-beer problem.
Engine runs and command off. Scanner talks to modules. Looked at live data, just pedal sensor codes. Sounds like a two-beer problem. It's an aftermarket key. Oh, that's very important information. I don't know if you guys are reading the YouTube chat.
I am.
Yeah.
Hey, PJ's here. Just ask Scotty Kilmer, my customer. I thought he died.
No, man. Vato's going strong, man.
I'm surprised.
There's so much backlash on him, but people still watch his stuff. Makes no sense.
I want to know if the cluster communicates. Like, that's what I truly want to know. If the cluster shuts off, then I want to know what separates that guy from everybody else.
Is the ASD relay, does it involve the cluster at all? Have you looked that up?
I know. I'm just thinking.
He says it's an aftermarket key, and that always on a Chrysler to me is kind of like, ugh. Sometimes they do weird things. This chat is just full of Toyota boys. Oh my goodness. Is it, correct me if I'm wrong, is it Jera or Gara? Probably Jera. No. Okay. Fine.
Kaizen should know that's the boy.
Just talking to myself.
I'm pretty sure it's Gara.
Gara. Hera. Yoda for life.
Hell yeah. What's up, Jonathan?
Sounds like a J. Jara. It's Jerry.
Jerry.
It's Jerry.
I don't trust you, Nolan. No, Gino. Oh, we all know Scotty Kilmer knows everything.
Gerald. Oh.
Oh shit, PJ's in here too. Look at that. I was only
Hey.
going for Greg and Gara. Look at
Hey.
this. Hey, what's
What?
up?
Someone was
Gara.
calling you Gara. It wasn't me.
Is it Gara?
That's
Okay.
that's
1,
Jara.
2, 3. Gara, Jera.
It's like
or
Gerald without that LD. Yeah, Gara.
Gara.
He said it sounds like a J.
Oh, Taylor. No
Sounds like a
Seckies, dude. All day.
Jera.
Yep.
Gotcha. 2. Jera. Right? Jera.
All right, there we go.
Not Gara. Jera.
So
You're the star of the show, my man.
let's see here. So this case study is pretty old. I've had it for a while. I never really got to share it. The Toyota guys are gonna know, because actually I reached out to PJ for this. He had
That's a
helped me
Subaru, not a
a little
Toyota.
bit. It's a Subaru, but it's Toyota, right? It's not on. We started with them. Obviously, you can see there, 2016 Toyota FRS with a PO303, right? So, what are our possibilities for setting a P0303, right? And a P303 is of course the motherland. But misfire on cylinder 3, right? 2-trip logic detection, misfire, right? Catalytic
Yeah.
a bleaching mill, right? It's kind of like converter damage. It's deteriorating the cat, right? So the mill illuminates. What's our possibilities for a misfire? Open or short in the engine harness, right? Connector connection, vacuum connection, ignition system, fuel injection, port or direct, fuel pressure, high or low, mass airflow, and engine coolant temp. Of course, we have our engine compression, valve timing, PCV valve, and hose, and also hose connections, intake system, and of course the motherland, like Kyle said, the ECM. Whoops.
It's always the ECM.
Oh yeah, always ECM, right? Our initial testing, we did a visual inspection, right? Didn't notice anything. We did notice that cylinder 3 had a new coil when this came in. We did some preliminary tests with the scan tool. Injection modes. The misfire was present during port and direct injection. Misfire was also present for anywhere from 700 RPM to 3,000 RPMs. It never changed. Airflow math values changed in different ranges. There was nothing erratic there. Same thing with our engine coolant temp, nothing erratic there as well. So next, we were going to determine and test our engine mechanical health, right? So we hooked up the picoscope and we had our blue channel, right, on our intake with a pulse sensor, right, just like one of these jarhead ones that we're giving away. Channel 2 and 3 also was a pulse sensor in the exhaust. Both were not needed. I just did it just to do it. And then, of course, we had cylinder or channel 4. We had an in cylinder with a WPS. And for the guys that don't really know, it's a device. You take the spark plug out, you put in the hose, and it's placed much like a standard compression tester. And you hook it up to this little electrical box, and it takes the compression pressure and translates it to a voltage that you can see on a picoscope or any scope for that matter. So this is our relative compression, right? And this is with the red trace study that you're seeing, the very top squiggly red line. That is hooked up to our brake booster hose going to the intake manifold. And you see our blue channel there. That is our ignition sync. So we need to identify what cylinder are we on. And then, of course, our green trace is showing our actual relative compression, which we're using an amp clamp to monitor starter current drop, right? So the firing order here is 1, 3, 2, 4. So you can see this would be cylinder 1, cylinder 3, cylinder 2, and then we have cylinder 4, and then the pattern repeats itself, right? So on and so forth. So you can see here, this chart here, for people that don't know, that's a piston chart. So what this does is it tells us what is going on in this event, right? So we have cylinder 1 is on its power stroke, while cylinder 3 is on its compression stroke, cylinder 2 is on its intake stroke, and 4 is on exhaust. Now, we're going to ask guys in the comments here, what do we see that's different, or what's off? What stands out to you guys on this slide here?
Nah, some scientific shit right there.
You gotta remember there's a delay too.
Yeah.
Someone said auto light spark plug.
Hey, I like that guy's answer, man. That's
an issue on everything, dude. Auto light spark plugs.
He's also
Bad head gasket.
All right, we got an answer.
Third
Jonathan
hump.
Reynoso, Toyota Cali boy, says
Where?
the third hump.
Oh. Yeah, the third hump. Okay. Let's see.
On what trace? I'm driving. Don't drive and text.
Cylinder 2 looks low. Okay.
Ah.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Right. That's a little. This green trace here is showing top compression there on cylinder 2. Right. So cylinder 2 does look lower than the other 3. I can agree with that definitely. But our misfires on cylinder 3. Right. It was a P0303, and 3 looks great. 3 looks just like 1. Right. Looks like just like 4. So keep that in mind, right? Now, more squiggly lines. So blue again is going to be our intake, and the green and red are exhaust. And our yellows are in cylinder, right? Our in cylinder is on cylinder 1. That's just for our reference. Now, here we have the dash line going through the blue line. Everything above this dash line is atmospheric pressure, and everything underneath it is in a vacuum state. So how you read a pulse sensor is on, especially on an intake, we're going to touch here is these downward lines coming down, slopes.
Where's the
That's the induction pull for these cylinders, right, as it's happening. So we have this blue trace, and what we're going to do is we're going to match this blue trace to the blue boxes in the chart here. So you have this induction pull, right, intake pull coming down. Well, that's cylinder 2 induction pull. Now we have this next blue line, the cylinder 4, 1, and then now you got 3, right? And it just keeps going for the whole rest of the capture of the slide. So what do we think is wrong here? What looks odd here? If we're just speaking solely on this blue line, what are we looking at? What do we see?
I see many things, Don. A little bit of a latency.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting for that. I think that's
Yeah, it's all good.
Induction pull on
Induction pull on 3.
stuck open valve. Is
I
Raul says.
There we go. We got 2 answers. Induction pull on 3, and 3 has resistance on its pull down.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. All right, so here's an up close capture of it. So again, just to recap what I had said before, cylinder 3 here, you'll see it never really breaks that atmospheric plane, right? I mean, it does slightly. It gets in a little bit of a vacuum, but not compared to the rest, right? So this one has some. This one's got a good contribution. The same thing with this one here, right? So cylinder 1 is a little weak. 3 is a little weak. 2 is a little weak. I'm sorry. This is actually 2. This is 4. This is 1. And this is 3. Right? Because we're matching blue to blue.
I think it's important to know too, when you're using a piston chart, it's not 100% accurate. It's just giving you the generic 4 strokes, right? So just before the intake stroke is overlap, right? So you have to consider, if you look at the lines, like you line up each segment, they line them up in the downward peaks, right? So you kind of have to think about, like, just before the intake happens, what happens? Or sorry, as the intake happens, the exhaust valve is open. So you're going to see what we see there. What's unique in the number 3 pull.
So why do we see different in intake pulls during running and during our RC, our relative compression, right? So let's give you guys another visual. This is with it running, okay? Engine's running here, right? You can see that cylinder 3 induction pull is a little weird. So and that's with it during a relative compression.
What changes?
What changes from that to this? Now, this is a little confusing because, again, we got our intake stroke on blue. On this slide, it's on red. So I had done this over 2 days. I was messing with this car because it kind of kicked my butt originally because I had never seen it. once I seen it, then I was like, okay, this is what it is. So, right here in this red trace, it's all nice and smooth, symmetrical. Everything looks great. But this blue doesn't look very good. So what causes the difference between smooth and bumpy, ugly?
Bumping uglies.
Cam lobe issue, valve spring.
Pre-detonation.
Pre-detonation. That's an interesting
this
thought.
this is Kyle here. This is all you. Kyle's the drivability guy in our group.
What would pre-detonation do what would it do? So pre-detonation is you're on the compression stroke and the mixture is igniting before you're to the top. So when the piston starts going up, you're basically trying to compress an explosion, and you're trying to compress an expansion, and that creates a ping, a knocking, pre-detonation. That could affect a induction pull. If I've never thought of that with this, but so if 3 is on its compression stroke there, yeah, it's too far in the too early in the piston chart. But what I was going to say is that it could affect the crankshaft speed, in which case that it could affect, your intake pull, because now your crankshaft is effectively slowing down, and that could, slow down the pull. But I don't think that theory applies too much here, because it doesn't happen. We're looking specifically on number 3, intake. So the piston would already be up at the top and it's coming down.
So right here, James Miller, RPM. Yeah. That definitely plays a difference, right? From here to there. Because your starter is turning your relative compression, right? So now you only have starter speed. Now we have actual engine. Now we have actual engine combustion happening, right? So yeah, that definitely plays a part. So that brings us to this. This F20 engine is equipped with a vacuum pump that's driven off the camshaft. So you can see in our relative compression, right? It's nice and smooth. Well, that's because what do you have at cranking? You have higher vacuum, right? As opposed to when the engine's running, more engine speed means what? Less vacuum. So you can see that red trace, we have it there. It's nice and great as it's cranking, but as it's running, you can see obviously we have a lack of vacuum. So it's camouflaged essentially. Right? So the next we went in cylinder, right? And this is that component for the guys that don't know. This is that component you take the spark plug out, stick the hose in like you would a natural compression tester. There's your WPX, pressure transducer, and then that connects.
Ooh. Thanks.
So
Chad Kelly.
cylinder 3, right? This is with the pressure transducer, and this is what it looks like once you put it in there.
PJ says he remembers this now.
Yeah, I was like, help, I'm lost. I'm really lost.
Can you go back? Can you go back to piston chart for a sec? I just want to see something, because this is such a strange firing order. 1 3 2 4 instead of 1 3 4 2.
Yeah, it is correct. I'll show you.
Okay, I just want to answer someone's question
Firing
here.
order here. All right.
Yeah,
Firing order 1 3 2 4.
cool. All right, continue. Sorry.
Cookie.
Okay, so cylinder number 3, top dead center pressure, right? What did this engine produce with it running, right? So it produced 176 psi. Now, keep in mind this is at a cold startup, so naturally engine RPMs are going to be higher at a cold start. So just so everyone's aware. So we take a good look at this, right? Look at our in cylinder, how this looks. what stands out here to everybody or anybody, I should say?
Go, 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 go.
Intake is wavy. That's a valid.
I see it. I must have a delay. There you go. Intake is wavy.
I'm watching the YouTube chat.
Oh, okay.
No exhaust pocket. I had to
Yeah,
zoom
Garrett,
in.
this is running. This is running. Sorry. I don't know if I can make this any bigger. I'm screen sharing right now. So yeah, that's 176 PSI top dead center pressure.
At idle. Whew.
At idle, correct. This is also
That's
after
a lot
just
of
it's a
pressure.
cold start. Yeah, it's a cold start too.
Okay.
So I'm sure that had some effect with it, obviously. James Miller. No exhaust pocket.
Super high compression, yeah.
So our intake pool for that same cylinder, number 3, we had a negative 5.7 PSI, right? And that was the average measuring from 0, which is this bottom dashed line here. And this is our average. I'm sorry, this is our atmospheric, which is the top line. And then the bottom line is going to be our average of actual engine vacuum, or our induction pool, I should say. So there's where we're getting that negative 5.7 difference from 0
Which is
to our
nothing.
average there.
That's no vacuum.
So what do we do next, right? Is what we have good? Is it bad? How do we know? We want to compare it to a known good, right? So, I mean, if you're in a network of guys like we talked about earlier, was, you reach out to your network and, hey, does anyone have a known good for this? Does anyone have a known good for that? Now, if you don't have that, what you can do is just, you have the engine there, you have the car there, right? You can just go to the next cylinder over and say, hey, well, let me see what this reads. I should be somewhat close to it, right? Now, this is cylinder 1 in cylinder, right? And here we didn't measure our peak pressure. All we wanted to measure was the induction vacuum. So this is what we wanted to see. So here we have on cylinder 1, we have a negative 8.2 PSI. Now, this is cylinder 1, again, negative 8.2. Cylinder 3, we had a negative 5.7, right? So what would cause lack of vacuum in one cylinder specifically?
All right, guys, I'm gonna have to jump off. Appreciate everybody for coming out.
Yeah.
Bye, Vegas.
See ya.
Travis.
Peace out, Travis.
I said it's covered. Bum, 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 dun, dun, dun. Don, did you get your VW key made?
I missed that. I'm still waiting for the answer between the difference between the two.
Yeah.
There you
No,
go.
someone said cracked intake valve.
Where? Oh, there you go. Man, I got latency on my end, dude. Cracked intake valve? Yeah.
Yeah, that's possible.
Now, is this possible, Kyle?
Carbon buildup? Yeah, if it's keeping the valve open. Or lack of air movement, if in an extreme sense. Like if you're talking BMW.
Yeah.
The question, Nolan, was what is the difference? What would cause the difference between cylinder 1's vacuum of negative 8.2 to cylinder 3's negative 5.7 psi? What would cause the difference between the two? Why would number 3 have lower vacuum than number 1?
Exhaust gas from the exhaust valve closing too soon. BT bird.
Exhaust gas from the exhaust valve closing too soon.
Yeah. That is.
I really like this answer. I really like this answer. He knows, well aware.
That works.
Valve seat, yeah.
Chris with the valve seat.
Valve
Yeah?
seat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is going to be really hard to see, I imagine, on the phone. But this is just showing the differences between cylinder 1 and cylinder 3. Right? So from a bird's eye view, you can obviously see the difference in the exhaust. Right? You can see a difference there for sure. Same on the intake, right? You got a little bit more ripples on the intake than you do from 3 to 1. So at this point, I'm kind of standing around like I don't know where to go next because this was extended warranty. This is, by the way, this is when I was still working at the dealer. So I knew that, okay, my intake activity was performing less than the neighboring cylinder. So my hypothesis was that I had intake valve sticking or wasn't seated properly, which is why I had the difference of a negative 2.56 weaker pull from cylinder 3 to 1. So what do you do? What would be another test to see actual engine health when it comes to, I guess, testing the actual combustion space of the engine, I guess, right? What are you going to do? Are we going to do another compression test of the mechanical gauge? Or are we going to do a leak down? What would we do? And how would we do this leak down, right? If we wanted to do a leak down, let's say, we're going to do it at top dead center. We're going to do it at bottom dead center so we can, test the rest of the actual engine block itself. Like
A VE test. Interesting. I've never done a VE test for a single cylinder misfire.
Hey, Kyle, how do you do your leak downs?
On compression, top TDC.
Oh, look, running compression.
So yeah, running compression on most engines you should expect. I mean, like 80, 90 psi at idle, a hot idle, I would say. 170 seems kind of crazy to me. I had that once on an Audi. I had 180 psi on a hot 2-liter engine. I wish Travis was still here. You could talk about that. But yeah, running compression would be a good way to test.
So all I did was do a leak down on cylinder 3. I had set it to top dead center, and I definitely had shop air coming in at the intake. I could hear it in the intake. So this being extended warranty was just enough proof to tell them, hey, we need to, tear this down. Or the inspector came out and he agreed we needed to tear it down. And I ended up not getting to fix it solely because extended warranty ended up not covering the claim for whatever reason. And then customer ended up getting it or wanting to get it fixed, but by then I was already packing up to leave. So I never got to see this car through specifically.
If you go back to the cylinder 3 in cylinder,
That one?
yeah. So another theory you could have, yeah, extended warranties do suck. Jeez. You do a leak down and that'll verify your result for sure. But another thing you could think of is when you do a 4-cylinder engine and you put up your 720-degree ruler like you see here on Pico, you see each 180, 180, 365, 40. it shows you all 4 engine cycles, but it just so happens that all 4 compression strokes also line up in those rulers as well. So in theory, you see cylinder 3, cylinder 2, 4, and 1. And the fact that just on overlap, you see a little spike, that could also indicate that compression from another cylinder is leaking back into the intake, because as that's happening, the intake pull, or no, sorry, that would be if it were in an intake pulse sensor. That's my mistake. I forgot we're in cylinder.
I get where you're going with it.
It wouldn't leak back into the cylinder. It would leak into the intake, unless, if you had a pulse sensor, you would see that.
Yeah, I got where you're going.
Just brain fart.
Hey, but how much you get out of the game though from being what we were doing as engine diag and drivability to what you do now on mobile.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, here Nolan just asked, how much engine diag are you seeing?
Rarely any. I mean, it's been a long time, man, to be honest.
I've done, I think, 2 since I've started. So I'm a little out of touch.
How many has Gino seen since he's got mobile?
Engine diag.
1, and it was at Ford Escape. I never got to finish it because the customer didn't approve any more time. And then after that, not too much. I mean, there's like stuck EGRs and stuff, just like basic stuff, and nothing like crazy.
Oh yeah, Chris, this is a for sure. What I see a lot of missing fuses, or they're put in the wrong location. Yeah. So they were testing at one point, and they're on their path, and then they end up finding what was wrong with it. But during their testing, they made a mistake, and they end up fixing the car. But then they created another problem at the same time. So I see quite a bit of that, man. Or they'll pull a relay out to jump the circuit or whatever, and then they don't put the relay in, and it falls on the floor. So then I show up to do a diag, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, I go to the component, I got no power, no control, and I'm like, what the hell? And then I backtrack the circuit, and I'm like, the fucking fuse is missing. What the hell? Pop a fuse or a relay in. I'm sorry. You pop a relay in, and boop, works just fine. I'm like, oh shit, this whole time. Yeah.
Remember that? What was it? A Volkswagen Jetta? You saw 3.3 volts on a fuse.
No, yeah. That was because of missing fuse.
Yeah.
I forget.
But like an unlikely thing. It was the diagnostic onboard.
Yeah. There you go.
Interface or something.
You remember better than I do, but yeah.
Got a good memory.
Oh yeah.
For some things, apparently. Engine diag was like, who? They don't remember moving stuff around. See, the thing, Chris, is like people don't admit to moving fuses or what they did. You'll never really get a straight story, you know?
Yeah, I tell you this much, man.
A missing fuse. You go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that I do that. I'll be there at a shop, and the tech will walk up and be like, "Oh, what was it?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, man, the fuse is missing." And you see like the instant regret on their faces, like fuck, like they knew they fucked up. And it's like, and I tell them like, "Hey man, don't worry about it. Like it's cool, I got you." And it's like I cover for some of these techs. I do tell them like, "Hey man, I'll tell the manager, whoever called me, and it's poor pin fitment at this connector, man. I took the connector apart, closed up the pin, put it together. We're good." Because I mean, as a mobile guy, man, it's hard because some of these techs, some of them like they sometimes feel threatened, or they feel they feel like you're there to make them look bad, and it's not the case at all, man. So it's just kind of double-edged sword, man, because you want to be honest with the shop, but at the same time too, you're not trying to build any enemies with some of these guys. So depends how they treat you, really.
Definitive Diagnostic says he misses drivability.
I don't.
Meanwhile, he can do like crazy econ stuff.
I know.
Lots of shops not doing any training and underpaying their techs.
Yeah, that's true.
Very valid.
See a lot of it.
I was recently at a body shop, doing a diag, and this body shop is attached to a Ford dealer, and the Ford techs just kind of wander. And I had my scope out and stuff, and they were looking at me like, "What are you doing?" I was like,
All right,
"I'm
so
just
I hope one of you guys thought of a question.
for the pulse sensor."
Yeah.
We were focused on your case study.
Yeah. But you guys are supposed to think of a question. So
Put the pressure on us. Look at Mattech.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not doing anything.
I know.
Oh, I'm looking at this diagram on this challenger.
I knew he was still on it. I freaking knew it. I knew he was still going to do that. I knew he was stuck on it.
Oh man, what's a good question?
I am. I'm fucking looking at it and just see what.
A good question for a pulse sensor. Does it have to be drivability related?
That'd be whatever you want to be. Drivability, electrical.
How does the leaking intake valve cause higher compression? I wish I was in this group, or like we were talking when this issue was present. Because
I don't know. All I know is that I put it to top dead center and I shot the cylinder with air and I had leaking air coming out of it. And on my pressure transducer, cylinder 3 at a cold start, I had that reading. So either that WPS is wonky or I don't know. I really don't know how you get more pressure from a leaking valve, right? I don't know. That's what was odd. Because I looked back at this later and I was like, like this doesn't make sense. I don't understand. Because I try to make sense out of it. And everyone, obviously being a Toyota, and the older Toyota guys over there were like, they told me, oh yeah, these things they're known for valve issues or what have you. And I'm like, okay, well, like I've never seen it. So I'm trying to understand, what am I seeing?
I like what he said here. The
I
Subarus,
think the higher compression is caused by super cold start. Yeah.
because they shoot up to like 2,500 RPM. You know?
Yeah. No, they are. They're a high rev engine, right? So.
No, yeah. Little blue lights on and give her gas.
Yeah, I say that.
Worse.
Then I get worse and worse. I get worse and worse.
It should be an easy question or a hard question?
Whatever you feel like.
Gino, I'm looking at you on the screen.
Something easy. Okay. So a blind spot module. If service information.
I know this question.
If service information says, the IG on fuse, right? If the specification is 11 to 14 volts, right? So battery voltage, and you measure it with your DVOM and it says 10 and a half. Should that module be coming on?
All right, say that question again.
Okay, so a blind spot module, any blind spot module, right? Service information says the specification is 11 to 14 volts. You go and measure that wire, right? That IG on wire, it's an IG signal, and it's at 10 and a half volts. Is that module coming on?
This is a good question.
No. I'm going to say no.
I'm going to say no, too.
Would I expect it to? Yes, I would expect it to.
Yes.
I would think that's like borderline threshold. It should come on, yeah.
Because often you don't even read service info for the ignition spec. What's ignition volt? Yeah, everyone knows that.
Right here. Right here, though. Right here, though.
Battery voltage is
That's
voltage is like 13.4.
So it's good.
Taylor 9.9. So engines.
with
Wait.
engine running.
Okay.
PJ is getting in it. How is it tested?
But you said IG on, right? So it's got to be ignition on. So how are you gonna have 13, right?
Oh, I mean, okay. So IG on it's 12 and a half.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Back probe with it connected. Back probe.
Okay, so you IG on battery voltage is 12.5 at the battery, and you're getting 10.5 at this blind spot module. You're not loading it, you're just using the module as its own load.
Yeah.
To answer PJ's question.
Yep.
There's no headlights involved, it's just back probing. Does the module turn on?
Yeah, should the module turn on?
Damn, shoot it with the power probe and see what happens.
yeah. That's
Oh, okay, here we go. All jokes aside, I'd say it should turn on. Okay, so let's back up for a second. A car with low battery voltage, you ignition on, you'd get something from somewhere. You know, like a PCM would turn on with 10.5 volts. You'd think, you know, maybe something else. Right?
It should turn on. It should.
It should turn on.
No.
Feel the pressure.
Well, Lewis said yes, right? And then everybody
Lewis
else
said
asked
yes.
questions. Lewis is the only one to answer the question.
And right, Chris said no, but he said according to service
Okay,
service
there you go.
info, but
Yeah.
I'm assuming it does.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd all assume it would.
Yeah. No. Enright's right. It would not, because according to service information, it should be 11 to 14 volts. And I actually had that on 2016 Toyota Tacoma. Lost communication with the slave blind spot module. It had 10.5 volts there with IG on, and I'm, I had 12 volts at battery and had my grounds, and the communication lines were good, and I was a bit confused because, like, why is it loss of communication? And it's a brand new module, right? Brand new module. Communication line's good, powers and grounds are good, and I have 10.5, and I assumed that this thing should be coming on. What I ended up doing with this was I went to the master module, blind spot module, which is on the driver's side, and I saw that the IG on was actually at 12.5 on that one, and that one was just fine. So what I did was did exactly what PJ said, is I
Give it the old blast.
gave it 12 volts. Gave it 12 volts from the battery, and it came alive, and everything was good. So I ended up finding high resistance from a junction connector to that slave module, blind spot slave module, and it wasn't an accident. It wasn't a collision. So, but yeah,
So
10.5 volts is not going to turn it on.
So I'm assuming it was collision related then, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
because it wasn't there before.
Right. So
who won it? Was that Lewis?
Chris.
No.
Chris or Lewis?
Chris won it. Oh man.
Yeah, Chris, either send me or Kyle your mailing address and we'll get that shot out to you, dude.
He's already won the Deeble leads I did a giveaway way back when. He's on a roll.
Yeah. I know. Walmart battery.
Chris, what are you playing at here? Walmart battery. Oh gosh.
Well,
We got 19 folks in here.
well, any other questions?
Yeah, it's just
Hey, but honestly, at the dealership, I would have been a little stumped on that, because like it's like so close to, spec, and it's like it's sometimes when you make like measurements, like you can't just like, oh, it's a module. It's like, you know, a couple volts off or whatever, like, or like half a volt off. It's the module. So that one I had to confirm for sure. I had to set some voltage to that one.
Half a volt.
Yeah,
You would never think half a volt made a difference.
Yeah.
But that's cool. Hey, Antonio.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm
I thought he
on.
pulled it. I thought he pulled the wig there for a minute.
Me too.
I thought he pulled the wig.
Not yet.
Where is
Not yet.
wig?
Oh,
Sit there.
yeah.
Yeah. A few more.
No one's got any questions. We're just sitting here on live video.
Well. All right, let me ask you this, Kyle. What's the biggest challenge you face out there?
Being mobile, eh?
Yeah. What's the biggest challenge you face out there? Or before, think about that real quick, but Nolan just asked a good question. I think that'd be good for our viewers. Let's see. Would a half a volt voltage drop be noticeable with a test light?
Hey, honestly, I think it was more of like a 2-volt drop, because if the other one was 12.5 and this one was at 10.5, it was losing 2 volts. So I would say yes, you'd see it like if you're in a shop, you might be able to see it.
Yeah, if you're in the parking lot, though.
Yeah, but if you're in the parking lot and it's like,
That's good.
80 and blue skies and sunny, I'm not too sure.
80? Man, where paradise you live in, man? Like 100 over here. It's 100 by 11.
If it's an LED test light, no. If it's an incandescent test light,
Yeah.
probably not.
No?
2-volt drop, yes. Half of
Yeah,
2 volts, yes, but half a volt, no.
Yeah, the half a volt was like it being able to reach like minimum, specification. But the difference between the master or the left side and the right side was 2 volts.
Only if it's a Harbor Freight test light. I'm told they have the best tools.
Hey,
We don't even have Harbor Freight up here.
I'm not gonna lie. I use some Harbor Freight stuff. No shame in it either. No
Remember the
shame
day
in
we
it.
made you walk over to the AutoZone to buy what was it?
The vacuum gauge. No, it was a vacuum gauge.
The vacuum gauge.
Oh, yeah, it was Advanced Auto Parts, and I was in the freaking parking lot diagnosing this rich condition, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? I'm like, I don't understand what's going wrong here. And I'm like, well, check vacuum, and I'm like, oh fuck, man. So I have no way of checking
He
vacuum.
was like, yeah.
I read whatever. Yeah, I was like, yeah, it's got a good vacuum, sure. Stuck it in my hand. I was like, fuck, man. I walked across the parking lot to Advance, about a $12 vacuum gauge, come back. I was like, yeah, I got a good vacuum, which is what I figured. But I needed to know. I needed to know for sure, like, was this to eliminate this possibility? It ended up being the fuel. It was that, I mean, I don't know what it was, but it wasn't no 87.
Yeah, it was bad fuel.
I don't know what the hell it was.
Bad fuel. It can bite you.
Looked like pee. I'll tell you that.
I'll answer your question real quick before we move on to something else. The most difficult thing I face, I think that's a 2-part question. The days there is no work. You wake up in the morning and you don't have anything booked that day and you're just waiting for a call. Kyle's biggest challenge is not having time to make videos. Okay. I know. I promised I'd do like a basic scope video like last year. Oops. Anyways, so not having work, yeah, you can get lost in this mental mind space of like freaking out,
Everyone
panicking,
fired
and
me.
yada yada. Yeah, so I charge too much, and you tell yourself things. But the second thing, which is what I ran into the other day, was not having the tool I needed to do a job and it was the second time a shop called me, and it was an ADOS related tool. I was just like, man, I hung on to that all day. I was like, I'm just gonna go buy the tool right now. I don't care if it's $1,000. Like, it's $1,000. That amount doesn't scare me. It was more like, well, I'm not gonna see that car. They've already shipped it. It's gone. Damage is done. So more just being prepared, and when you don't have work, it's not so bad, but you
What
can
about
get
MadTech?
lost in it.
What's up?
What's your biggest issue you face up there? Because you're in Bend, Oregon, so you got a lot different climates and culture and vehicles as opposed to me down here.
I guess I gotta agree with Kyle, man. It's like some of the stuff that we get called for is the tools, like not having the right tools or not having that tool and having to make that sacrifice to say screw it, I'm gonna invest in that tool, and hope that it's gonna pay off down the line, even if you lose on the first job,
What's one of the tools you'd highly recommend somebody's on the fence about going mobile? One tool that you think has been very beneficial to you and helped you in your business.
Cardac is one. 508 with an XP400 is a must. It's a must. I mean, diag programming and keys. They go hand in hand. So, like those two things, man. 508 and an XP400 will get you very far. Get a lot of stuff done. I'm a very strong believer of Autel's good, and have a Snap-on with you too at times. It doesn't have to be a Varus or a Zeus, but just something, because I've seen where the 909 fails me, and I've seen where the Snap-on fails me. So, but like I said, the hardest challenge is you get all these, you have to get these specialty tools all the time, and if you're in this game, you're the one that has to have the specialty tools, and that's, I guess, one of the hardest challenges. Like Kyle said, they call you and you're like, ah, man, I want to go home and pull this trigger, but that's, I guess, the one thing that's for a small business
You can do
like
it
myself.
Yeah, you can do it senselessly. Yeah, I'm gonna go buy that 1K device. I'm gonna get it here as fast as I can and tell the shop, hey, I can't do it today. Maybe I can do it in 2 days.
Yeah,
that's an option if you really think that tool is going to be worth it, at least in my situation. But yeah,
no, I mean, I bought a few that I got called for and never. They're still sitting there, I haven't even used it once. It's what it is.
I'm not responsible for that.
You want to talk about your history, Don?
No.
It's W7 series.
No. It's Gino's turn. Okay.
Gino Beans.
One tool.
Now, I can't be one that Antonio just named.
Man.
The 300 amp alternator in your Toyota Sienna.
Yeah. Hey, that's a tool. All day. Hey, I just got that AC unit.
Hey,
and I'm telling you.
no, actually, hey, one tool for sure. Mobile is those Anderson cables.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those have built me out. I love those.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these cars have been that we come out to, whether it's like diagnostics or something, or it's body shop, like a lot of the times they have like a dead battery, and they can't keep themselves on IG on while you're like trying to like do a pre-scan or something. So yeah, especially for keys, if you're doing like any sort of like locksmith where you're trying to program keys or all keys lost, and this the vehicle's outside in the parking lot, those Andersons, it's quick, they're super long, and man, we pull them out like probably like maybe like 10 times a day.
Yeah.
Seriously.
One thing,
Yeah.
and people will laugh at this, but dead ass, dude, a knee pad.
A knee pad. Yeah.
No,
Oh,
I
for
have
real,
three.
yeah.
I
I got
carry
one.
3 in my van. I carry 3 in my van.
I ain't
I'll throw
lying
one
on
on
the
each.
ground.
I'll throw one on each side. I'm serious, dude. Because I ain't trying to be like 40 and fucked up knees, man. Like no.
Yeah.
Like
It was bad
you
enough
gotta
when
get
you're in the
underneath.
shop,
You gotta get
man.
underneath the dash, and you gotta go poke wires, check fuses, whatever. Nah, bro. I go get the knee pad, throw that fucker down, and
Like
you know
it's
that tool,
a big pad. Like
dude. It's like I'm talking like the pad is like I don't know, man.
I gotta
a good,
take a
like,
picture of mine. Mine,
Yeah, I'll just have
mine
to
folds
send one.
up.
Yeah, bro. I have 2. I have 3 of them, man. I have 3 knee pads because, bro. Nah, man. I mean, we're out in parking lots. I got a lot of gravel shops too, man. Like, I go to parking lots and they're out there in the middle of nowhere. I'm like, man, I ain't putting my
Yeah,
knees on
you
these
do a lot of
fucking
cars
rocks.
outside.
I do a shitload of cars outside.
this guy he
That-
says what kind of cables? Hold on, let me get the link.
What
Yeah.
are these cables you speak of?
Yeah. Well, yeah, man. I mean, the shops, they don't put fuses back in, man. So when I go back and I check and I find them, yeah, dude. So yeah.
I can just say one, being mobile, most important tool, water bottle.
Yeah. Well, man, I'm a little Milwaukee fan, dude. 'Cause
Oh.
hot air,
Yeah,
hot air
for
is
you.
nowhere.
Hey, the piss bottle in the back, that's hella important.
I've never done that. I can't bring myself to do that, man.
Yeah.
I'll go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
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 See, Marco has it figured out. Look, see, foam pad all the time. Yep.
All right. I gotta get a foam pad.
Yeah, bro.
I agree. I agree with Taylor. I agree with Taylor on this.
Oh,
Anyone that
pocket
brings up
screwdrivers,
7
since we're
series
talking
numbers.
about that. This is my bag here. Look at my line up there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
you see that.
Look at that.
Woo!
It's cute.
Got picks. Yeah, it's quick. You have to be a contortionist to climb under. CNC fuses. Have you? Yeah. Okay. Have you ever checked the fuse on a BMW 5 Series in the glove box?
Yeah, it sucks.
That
It
sucks.
sucks. And it smells.
Just take the glove
It's
box
been-
out. Yeah.
No, yeah, but then it smells because the window's been cracked and the fucking carpets have mold and it's just like. And you got a 7 Series with a different ISN. Yeah.
Oh, just really hurts. Eh?
Let's see. we will talk about my M5 headache later to make you feel better, though. I appreciate it, buddy. I never got anywhere with that car, dude, by the way. They were going to send off that DME and cast to, I don't know, some company in Houston, and customer ended up calling it quits and ended up taking the car from the shop. So I never found out if it ever started to run again or not, but I'm just glad it's out. It's gone out of my life. That one hurt me, scarred me deep. Where'd you get
Where'd
that
you get
bag,
that?
Kyle?
Oh, this one.
Amazonian?
This guy. No, man. This local store had them on clearance for $50. It's a tactical. It's got all sorts of pockets. You see inside. Divider, things in there. Here's the name of it. It's called Black Ghost Tactical Bag. Black Ghost Tactical Gear. I don't know.
This comment right here. Yes, 1,000 times yes, dude. I have a cooler too, man. I keep in the van. Every day I load about, I don't know, I want to say 8 bottles of water, maybe 10. And I try, my goal is to drink them before I get home. I make sure I at least only leave maybe 1 or 2 left when I leave the house in the morning and by the time I come home. That's my goal, is to just make sure that's gone. If by noon, man, if half the bottles ain't gone, I know I'm dehydrated. Like and it gets away from you. It's real easy. I mean, you're staying busy, focused from job to job. It's really easy to deplete yourself out there.
How about what are you guys using for mobile vehicles?
This is a good question. Very good question. I'll let Antonio go. Let's go, Antonio. Go first, Antonio. You've been quiet.
Talk about Bill, Antonio.
Damn Bill. I love Bill.
Take off your background so the guys can see it.
Yeah, man.
Come on.
Let's see the
What?
backgrounds. Take
Yeah.
your background off.
Oh shit.
Take your background off. He's already drunk, man. Look at him.
Nah, I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing. Nah. Let me see here. There you go.
Oh, look at that.
There's the pack out.
Look at
Oh,
that.
snap.
Look at that. Look at that, man.
I got an
Fully suited
03
up.
GMC Savannah. I mean, she has like over 300K. That's how I picked her up, but I got her for a good price. I think I paid like $1,000 for
Got
her.
a crack
Put a
cylinder.
radiator. Got a cracked cylinder head. I haven't come around to fix it, but she's
Oh,
deep
hey,
from
bro,
there.
One of our bands has
Hey,
a rat
hey.
radiator.
I got
But I
a
made
flashing airbag light, so it's okay.
But hey, I made it in 105 fucking degree weather out here, man. It was hot as hell, AC blowing, and I didn't care. I just ran her. She got a little hot sometimes, but we got the work done. I mean, once I picked up another van, a little Sienna that I might use for now till in the winter. I might start tearing her down and getting her fixed up. But yeah, I mean, she gets the job done. I love her. I mean, no overhead. She's my rig, and we get it done. There you go, Gino. You're next.
Yeah.
Nah.
Gino, what do you got? Huh?
Yeah, man.
Okay, so we roll with van wise, we roll with two Siennas, 2011 and 2012, and they're pretty good, especially for the MA600. So we put those where the third row seats would go into if you were trying to like hide them and make a like a flat floor. So we hide them in there all the way in the back. So we have one of the vans is like an ADOS diagnostic van, and the other one is like primarily for locksmithing. So it can do some diagnostics, but it's primarily for locksmithing. So, and yeah, they're
Gino's
they're super incognito. Like you would never know. Like the soccer mom van is putting in local work. And
I started in a Sienna.
It's easy for us to service it. So,
I started in a Sienna.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved it. I rode the front seats to the back, all the back seats, down.
Oh yeah,
just rocked it. But then I picked up the Savannah and sold the Sienna. But then I picked up another Sienna that I want to use till I get Cracker Bill back on the road.
Yeah. It's good to have multiple. And someone was asking, who was asking how much? Enright Automotive was asking how much work we have to do on our vehicle since we're mobile.
I do a lot of work. It's a lot of oil changing on mine.
We haven't done very much, man. These Siennas are solid, bro.
Nah, that is true, dude. Toyota for life, man.
They're solid. Not very much. Maybe, yeah. I mean, they came with good tires, so. But
when it starts ticking, when I hear the valves ticking, then all right, oil change. Change oil.
No, but hey, 2GRs are naturally pretty noisy after 300,000 miles.
Yeah.
Kyle, what you riding in, man?
Oh, I got a special whip.
Yeah, it does.
Got a maxed out pump. 2003.
That's cool.
Volkswagen Jetta wagon.
No, it's tuned.
It's tuned. I tuned it myself. I took the pump and I put it up here. Okay.
All right.
It rolls coal when you step on it, and it gets 1,000 to a tank. So
Yeah.
I got a picture of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, I can't see it with the camera. Oh, yeah. So I'm getting a work van eventually. I don't know what I want to do, but yeah, just rolling in the Volkswagen life, which is funny because when I roll up to shops, oh wait, you got a picture? Oh yeah, it's got this van. Yeah,
This is my
Delilah thing.
That's just one side, right? So. It ain't no Sienna, dude. But
Pack, bro.
I need it.
I want one where I can stand up, man. That's my ultimate goal. Like I don't have to. What's up?
Me too. I'm tired of being in there crunched down and on a little chair trying to work on a bench.
funniest thing is when, because we're on the phone all the time, Don will be in traffic, and then all of a sudden you hear, he's blowing his CVT up to the moon at 6,000 RPM.
You can hear it, huh? You can hear that thing whine. You're like, oh man. Sorry for that one.
Oh, you use a box truck? What?
You gotta remember too, he has an office, like he has a space too.
Damn,
Oh,
I
you
wanna see
fancy.
that.
I want that,
I have to
man.
change my lawnmower rig every other month maintenance. I don't do a lot of stop and go driving due to my area. Oh man, that's nice. I do
2001
shit.
GMC Safari.
See, like in Bend, Oregon, it gets really cold. So, like in the winter, man, this thing never shuts off. It idles all day, and it's like I don't care. I hop back in there to warm up because every shop leaves from me is outside in the back, buried with snow, no battery, and it's like ah. So my van is my refuge out there. It's my shelter.
Only on cold starts.
This is a good one for you guys. Opening your own space. So I mainly do only commercial. Every now and then I do a public person just because from referral that I know somebody that it's like, hey, cool. But I try not to service public. Eventually, if I get a place of my own, I will probably open up to public, but it's going to be much more expensive than pretty much almost everyone else.
I'd like to have a home base. I kind of see myself being mobile for a little while before making that decision. But yeah, it'd be really cool to be well known enough in my city to where people could send me cars. I think that would be the ultimate goal. You know,
People coming to you. I'm gonna say, like we do have our own space. Like we're like renting like part of a shop, but we don't have like customers coming to us, and we don't plan on opening to the public just because it's like what we've been seeing is less of a hassle. You know, we just deal with like another repair shop, another like or a body shop or used car lots or big chain dealers, right? When we're doing locksmithing, we find it a lot easier for one to get paid, and two,
yeah,
you don't have to talk to customers. Like we don't have to like explain things because most of these
you don't gotta sit there.
most
You
of
can
these
just
shops
tell
know
the
the
shop.
lingo, you know,
Yeah.
and they can they can translate that to the customer. They can go through and catch the customer up with what's going on. So I don't know, and I guess less overhead too, because if we're just renting the space to like have a place to do like ADAS calibration / like work on our own vehicles and whatnot, and not so much for the public. I think we save on overhead there because we like the environment of like moving around. So yeah, not really planning on it for the public.
Antonio.
See, I've owned my own repair shop in the past, and I rent, and I like mobile. I really do. I like just dealing with specific businesses, just shops. It's just easier lingo, like Gino said. Like, how can I say this? Like, I'm an automotive technician. I'm not a service person. Dude, like, I have to explain things. So what I normally do, if I have to explain to the GP, the general public, I'll have my wife explain. Like, I'll write it down for her, and I'll use her as my service writer. I like dealing with shops. I like talking to foremen or service writers and just being like, hey man, this is what it needs, and give them. It just less of a hassle, like Gino said. If I was to open a like another shop again, I think I would be specific to say certain things, just diagnostic, no comms, electrical work, data calibrations and stuff like that. I'd like to really center myself around that area if I was to open a shop down the line. But for now, like I love mobile. I love just getting in my van and driving off to shop, showing up, do a job there, boom, hop in my van, go to another job, and go to another job, and to another. And it's like you're in different spots all the time. You're always driving around, and I guess I like that. I like that lifestyle. I love it. So I don't know. I think for a minute I might stick around with what I'm doing, and then I guess wherever God leads me, then I'll take that route.
Okay, so the next question here: how do you bill for travel time?
Trip charge.
Added to your labor rate. Do you guys roll this in? Do you charge additional?
Yeah.
We roll it into the labor rate.
Well, like I service, like I'm in Bend, Oregon, so I got like I think like 5 cities. I got Redmond, Madras, Prineville, Sisters, La Pine. So all these cities are within like 30 minutes to an hour of each other. So I have certain price sheets for as far as travel time and my gas time to whatever to get to that city. So yeah, I do incorporate that, and most businesses know that there's going to be a charge for me to drive out there. And for the most part, all the dealers are pretty much in one city. So you see either I go to you or you bring the car to the dealer. So it's pretty much just they don't want to waste 2 techs driving, drop it off, because the dealer's going to tell you, hey, we'll call you when it's ready. They gotta wait, go back, waste another 2 techs or people to go back and pick it up. So it's just easier to pay me the service charge, the mobile service charge to drive out there and get it done for them.
I often forget to put it on invoices.
I've done that, dude.
My trip charge. I've done that so often. And I was like, whatever, it's fine. My labor rate's kind of like, or they're higher, so it kind of incorporates it, but yeah, it depends. If I'm driving an hour, it's like, yeah, I gotta charge you.
Hey, I like what Zach said about how some people complain about prices and whatnot. Like, yeah, the shops are family doctors, and these mobile guys, they're specialists. They specialize in like programming, locksmithing, so they're gonna be more expensive because, man, even if it's like R&R work, if you're getting a mobile guy to do R&R work and he's really good, like he should be expensive because that's a private doctor. You're able to talk to your doctor like in private directly. You can text them like, 11 at night, like, oh man, I got this check engine light that came on, man.
I read that one, bro. No,
I would not answer. I'm sorry.
I'm not reading it. Fuck that.
No, exactly. The thing is, if I read it, I'm it's gonna get my mind going. Hey, what's going on?
At 6 o'clock, the work phone stops. I'm like, I don't look at it no more. Like it's gone. Because man, if not,
but you got 2 phones. I got 1. Like
but that's why I got it though. But that's why I got
it. I'm telling you, because it rings, and I'm like,
yeah, you want to naturally look at it,
Yeah.
And then you think about it, and you're like, man, and then you never get away from work. So it's like you gotta have a balance, man.
Next thing you know, you see me always going back into my office, and then start doing things like,
Hey, no, I get that. There should definitely be a work balance. I'm just saying, like, being able to have like that private like mechanic if you're still doing mobile. I mean, if you're still doing like R&R work, like brakes and whatnot, or
that's true.
It should make you more expensive, like essentially.
This is good too. Shop ownership definitely isn't for everyone. That's true, man. Honestly, business isn't for everyone. I'm not gonna lie, man. It took me a while to adjust to like run a business, and even then, man, I'm no business expert. I just make the best decisions I think are good for the time being. I mean, I may be doing this all wrong, but I mean, hey, it's been working so far. So hey, we just roll with it.
That's just it. Yeah.
Now I'll chime in on that. Like, with as much as like the dollar signs are coming in, like, the late nights, you kind of like bring the scale out every now and then, and you're just like, okay, we're making this much, but I'm working this much, and I never stop thinking about, the business,
It never stops, man. Never stops. But then too, when you can wake up the next day at 10 o'clock in the morning and not leave your house till 11, I mean, hey, that's a win, right? I mean,
yeah.
But I mean, for me, like unlike like you guys, like I have like multiple guys who like, you know, have
You
the
got
same goal
goons.
in mind. And so with that being said, like, you know, like we're trying to build, like we're trying to build it together. And if I just like, if I make it seem like, oh, I'm giving up on it, it's like kind of unfair to them, you know, because they're going after as, you know, as much as I am, you know. So like, I don't know, like there's other people depending, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you
true.
you play the leadership role,
Yeah.
you know,
So
and that's just
I
like
have to.
people. You have to,
Yeah,
even
I
for
have to finish
yourself.
the late nights. I have to finish that invoice at 10:30. You know, like, because
I
the
still
thing
have to
is, like,
send one right now.
like the way that I say it is like like, you know, I want to build this properly, and I, you know, like I'm working for them. They're not working for me. You know, I like to go by that. So
Some good stuff in the chat. Learn from your mistakes.
Yeah,
You
no,
see
I'm
that?
trying to figure out which one we should do next here. Learn from your mistakes. The only reason I've done well and stayed open is by making a lot of mistakes. Man, if I can only begin to tell you the amount of mistakes, these guys know I get my ass kicked all the time, dude. I take a lot of L's, dude. I take a shitload of L's.
Shit. Oh, dude, a lot of stuff. Sometimes,
Yes.
honestly, we don't post. Like, we don't say like the
Man,
ass
Yeah,
kicks we got.
no.
Like only our little group knows. Like the I
It's
mean, when a
painful,
car
man.
mops the floor with us, you know, and we're like, oh yeah. By the time
Oh,
we get
yeah.
home, we're
Yeah.
like,
I got 2018 VW Passat, which I'm going to share those details later, but holy hell, man. It was,
Dude,
I've been killed so
my
many
most
times.
recent
I'm still hurting from it.
2009
That was
Prius.
Thursday.
Yeah. Just the
Hey, I'm
things
with-
like
I'm with Zach, bro. Some customers need to be fired.
Yeah, no,
Where's
yeah,
this
yeah.
at? Where's this at?
yeah.
Uh,
He just posted it. He's like the second last comment there.
No, he's right about that, man. Some customers is like, nah, man, don't ever call me.
Hey,
Like,
we fired some customers and they just don't realize they're fired. Like,
they keep calling.
yeah.
It's like, hey, I haven't picked up your call like the last 5 calls. What makes you think I'm still gonna call you?
This one right here, man. Yeah, you can build some good relationships, man, for sure. I've met a shitload of people being mobile, and
Cool people,
I-
man.
I know if I needed a job, man, if I wanted to give up and close
Yeah.
down my biz, and I needed a job, go back and shop, man, all I gotta do is pick up my phone and shoot a text message to some of these guys, and they.
Hey, and it feels
bring
good
me
when
in.
someone tells you that. Hey,
Yeah.
man, whenever you need a job, you got a job
Yeah.
here, man. Like, if you ever, you know, like, all right,
Yeah.
cool, appreciate it.
Cool. It's
Appreciate
good
it.
to know that.
It-
you know?
It's different than like applying to a job. You actually feel like your worth is seen.
Yeah, they know,
You
you
don't
know,
have to
hey,
like prove it.
Yeah.
You've already done the work, you know.
Yeah, you essentially already did, right?
yeah.
did you ever stop before starting a business?
No,
Hey, what is it? Did you ever stop before starting a business? Like, did I ever
He was
stop?
referring. Stop
I think we were
thinking
talking
about
about
it
the
whenever
phone
you
thing.
got home.
Oh, like stop, like
Yeah.
stop
Man,
at 5
no.
p.m.
No, that's the problem, man. Like
That's
now
why
it's
we're
even
here.
worse. Now it's even worse. That's the
Like,
thing.
Yeah.
like I mean, deep down inside, like I know I love this. Like I love this.
Yeah.
The challenges.
same.
Yeah.
I love the headaches. You know, like if I have no work, I'd rather be stressed out, full of work, phone ringing nonstop, and let's go, man. I'm cool, man. You know, all day, no sleep. Let's do it. I love it. But when there's no work, it's like, man, I want to go back to the crazy life. Where is it at?
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. No, a lot of late nights, and man, I told my manager this because he was asking like why are you getting so into this like field or this industry, or why are you excelling, you know, why are you choosing to excel, and or how are you excelling, right? Because I think like 25 I was getting pretty good at you know, working on cars and doing diagnostics and whatnot, and no, you can't shut your brain off if you want to excel. It's not what you do during the day, it's what you do before the day and after the day that makes a difference.
Yeah. I'll get up sometimes at 4 or 5 just to get extra hours of like research, recon, you know, little service information.
And that's what makes a
reading.
difference.
Yeah. Like, I want to understand why. Like, at the end of the day, that's my whole thing. Why? Why did that
See,
happen?
but this is the thing though too, man. Like I agree with you guys 110%. But then at the same time too, man, I take a step back. I don't have a family, man. It's just my wife and myself, right? So I take a step back and I look at my wife and I'm like, man, like I need to stop. Like I need to focus some time with her. You know what I'm saying? It's real easy to just dump everything you got into the business and let's focus on this and go. Because I can get tunnel vision real easy, man.
So yeah.
So I need to, me personally, I have to step back sometimes and look and be like, well, this business and these cars are going to be here tomorrow, bro. My wife might not be here tomorrow. I don't know. I might not be here tomorrow, you know? So that's why
lately
personally,
I've done
that's
that.
where I'm trying to cut that off.
Lately, I've been doing that. You know, I stay off the chats on the after 5 or 6 once I'm home. If I'm home, I try to be home, I guess you could say, because there's always a problem to solve, whether it's mine or one of your guys'. You know, it can never stop.
People like to see those tough cars and issues.
People like to see those tough cars and issues.
Yeah. Also, but some of this stuff also, it's information that
stuff we don't
kept close to the chest because others have showed us or whatever, and it's just out of a sign of respect. Yeah, Taylor, I agree. It is, man, but you know, after so many L's, man, you can only take so many, dude. This shit starts to hurt. It starts to hurt, bro. It starts to hurt. And these guys laugh because they know. These guys know, man.
Oh, we know. We know.
Oh, dude. Like, man,
I've never seen a man spend money
on the credit card, man.
Like that. Yeah.
Chase is like, hey, slow down over there, bro. Slow down there, Skippy. You just paid off your card to zero. What the hell are you doing, man? You racked it back up again.
I gotta figure this out. Why can't I get this out?
Hey, Taylor, I'll tell you this much. I had a Britas and I had FSB3 in my cart, and I got all the way to the credit card information and I closed the window out. I did it 2 times, 2 different days. I was proud of myself.
Should have just hit it, man.
Owning a business is like having kids. Some of the best time of your life. Some of your hardest. Yeah, that's true. Because when you get a win, bro, it's a big win. Separating yourself from work is huge. Yeah, but at the same time too, that's really convenient. I mean, all you gotta do is just walk out the back door. Convenient. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. It's a blessing and a curse, I imagine. That's what I want. I would love to have my own little shop at my house someday. But
yeah, see, and that right there, man. Your health is all you got, really. Oh yeah, dude. This is a good question right here. I don't know if he joined the chat at all. I didn't see him, but Diagnostic Dentist on Instagram, right?
He's the guy.
Him and Kyle were the two that I saw on Instagram that I was like, holy shit, these guys are fucking smart. Oh my god. And then when I met these guys, I met Antonio, and then Antonio went mobile, and I was like, wow, this fucking guy is doing it.
He's the
guy. He's got 4 kids. He's got 4 kids and a wife, and he's the only one working. He just straight up quit his shop and went mobile. I came home, told my wife, I was like, I gotta do it. I was like, this dude's doing it. Like, I got no excuse. Like, it's just you and I. Like, what the fuck? Like, I gotta do it.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared shitless.
Antonio's the guy. Is the reason why we're all here, essentially.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Yeah, he's the one who gave us all the hoop data.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
This is a good one for everybody.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'll let Kyle go first.
You want
me to go first? I'll go last.
I'm curious about yours. I don't actually know why you named it that. But...
Yeah, no.
So mine.
He's on the spot.
Okay, Volta. Really quick. I was working at a shop. I was a tech, and I had been planning on going out on my own. And of course, you come to this place where you need to find a name. And I was like, well, I don't want it to be like something diagnostics, yada yada yada, or my last name like Bueller, Kyle Buell Diagnostics. So I was like, well, like it's got to be something related to the industry. So I went way back. I was like, where did amps and ohms and voltage come from? And well, uh, the creator of the first DC battery was Alessandro Volta. And I was like, well, that's cool. This dude from the 17th century, creator of the first DC battery. He's the whole reason why.
Leave it to this
one's
dude
here
to
on
think of a
PC.
name outside of the box, man.
It's some famous or not famous, some like historic figure's last name, like Tesla, Nikola Tesla, and Alessandro Volta. So another thing though, when you're naming your business, is you have to be careful. Like if there's another business in your area, the same name, similar name, things like that. So I started Googling Volta, and there's like a Volta EV startup company somewhere, and there's a Volta diagnostic clinic in India. So I thought I'd be okay. Yeah. How about you, Kaizen? It seems the other guys are taking a walk.
So I actually went to school for Toyota, and they teach like Kaizen and the way of doing their business, the way that they Toyota's whole process in manufacturing and the way it do business. So I learned about Kaizen in T10, which was Toyota. Anyhow, and so I just adopted it. And at first, my name was our name was Kaizen Toyota Specialist, but I didn't get very much traction with just specializing in one make, and so I changed it to Kaizen Automotive, and that's when things started picking up. Because we weren't just the Toyota guys. We started doing everything else. So that's where we got the name Kaizen from. Was basically it was from school. It was from the training that I got coming into the industry.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
What's up, Mad Tech?
Mad Tech.
Mad Tech. Where are the Mad Tech?
Mr. Mad Tech.
My daughter actually told me one time I was working and researching something. She looked at me and said, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "I'm not mad." So you look mad. I'm like, "I'm not mad." She was like, "You look mad." I'm like, "Mad Tech." I'm like, "Oh yeah, Mad Tech." And then my wife always told me too, "Why are you mad?" I'm like, "You look mad." I'm not mad. Like that's how I look. And I just put Mad Tech Diagnostics in. I just kept it like that as Mad Tech. And then these guys then just. Well, the shittiest part about our shit sometimes is diag, so we say we're Mad Teching because
it's a new thing.
So we call it Mad Teching. When we got diagnostics, we're Mad Teching because shit can go
I got a
really
Mad Tech
south.
later.
I got a Mad Tech later.
Yeah, we Mad
So,
Tech.
yeah, that's how
Mad
it came
Tech
up.
on a Volvo.
Mad Teching. Mad Teching.
It's like say it hella mad, like, "Hey man, I can't answer your question. I'm Mad Tech right now," and we just get.
Yeah, we just
man,
know.
you're zoned in. When you're struggling,
bro,
you say, "Man, I got a Mad Tech." It's like, all right, yeah, that's a deep shit.
All right, bro, that's cool. I'll talk to you later.
I want to know how Don chose his name because I don't actually know. I don't think anyone knows.
It was after those two Toyotas at the dealer.
Oh, the Toyotas, those two.
Mm.
That's good. Yeah.
My FTS told me, he was like, "Wow, you were pretty spot on with that on the theory, right? On the theory of it." So when he said that,
Not on the spot.
I was like, "Okay, spot on."
Spot on.
And then that's why
very,
I rolled with it.
That's very good.
I don't know. Well, you'll see in the Toyota group, some of the guys that work at my old dealer, if I comment or something, they'll like be dumb and they'll say like, "You're spot on with your analogy," or "You're spot on with that," because they know about that conversation. That's why. So Yeah, I just like, fuck, I'm gonna roll with that. That sounds good.
Dude, I've changed my
Alright.
car like 3 or 4 times. You know, my design, my logos and stuff. I always change things.
Yeah, I had my wife design my logo. That one there.
Yes, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, dude, all the time, dude. You have no idea. Huh. I have to tell myself, hey, calm down, man. I ain't that serious. Like, it's all right. You keep moving on. You're okay. But yeah, dude.
I don't know why though, but yeah, like me, does it
All
doubt?
the
Do I
time.
get self doubt? Yeah, man. It eats me
All the
if
time.
anything, man. I go home and like my wife, we've been together for over like 13 years. So she's been my service rider when I had a shop. So she understands. Like she can see it in me when she knows. You know, I'm frustrated. Like something didn't go right at work, and I'm trying to figure it out in my head of what happened, what went wrong, and I take it personal. I know I shouldn't. Like I really know I should just leave it, but if I'm honest, that's why I'm mad at it because I take it personal. Like, I'm mad. And frustrated with it, but it is what. Yeah, I do doubt myself. I doubt myself, and I have to call these guys, and sometimes I have to tell them, "Hey, man, can you please read this to me? Because I feel like I don't understand it. Can you dumb it down for me, please? Because I don't get it." And yeah, at those times, yes, I start doubting, really, really, really doubting myself.
People don't have boundaries. Yeah, that's true.
I'm back.
No, Zach.
Sorry.
No, Zach. No. I can't buy anything else for the rest of the year. I gotta stop.
Seriously.
That's for the year.
I spent a lot of
There's 4 months.
money on this year. I know.
All right. So, would you encourage your kid to be a diagnostician?
Oh yeah.
I'm a,
'cause
yeah,
I've
that's
worked-
I want to start a little clan, man.
I would just because I've worked all kinds of jobs, you know, and no, I'm not saying no good or bad or about other jobs or nothing, but yes, I feel like it's if you know your shit and you know you do your best. That's fun. Like you know, do your best to try to solve a problem that you're getting hired to do. Yeah, I mean, it's for me. I consider it a good job. Me personally, you know, everybody might have their own take, you know, but I would encourage my kids to come into this industry.
For me. I mean, I think it's if they want to get into it, cool. I mean, it's a hard road to start, especially when you don't have any like guidance or anything. You know, you're just coming into the industry by yourself. I think I definitely try to transfer like him being mechanically inclined and also just being able to understand like basic electricity just because like in the direction of where our world is going, like he'll never go hungry if he's mechanically inclined and he understands like the basics of electricity. Like
Very
he can't
true.
go hungry.
Very true, guys. Very true. I agree with that.
Yeah, I want more of it.
Yeah, I get it. I get a few of it. And yeah, man, it's just I like it. It pays good.
Yeah. So a lot of hybrid work and EV work. I mean, I did a bit of it at Toyota, and the only thing that I lack right now to like fully like go deep into like high voltage vehicles is a mega ohm meter. Other than that, I mean, I'll still use my multimeter for the 12 volt stuff, but yeah, the high voltage,
Well,
the mega ohm meter.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get one of those too.
Yeah, might have to, once.
Yeah, the way it
You got-
yeah, I think it might move up on my list. You know, of like that big old toilet paper of tools that I still gotta get.
Yeah,
Never ends.
you can
know?
use a insulation tester too, in the same way, partially. It's a little cheaper.
What's
You guys
up
have
with this
high
video,
voltage?
man? Yeah.
You guys have high voltage gloves?
Yeah, Nolan gave me a pair. I've never used them.
No, dang.
I'd say mine are expired. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, I
say
got
they
it.
expire. You got to get them certified.
Mine are in my toolbox at the house here in the garage.
Yeah, I got 2 pairs in my office. We were all just mentioned in Enright's story. I would love to do more EV
That's
work,
no high voltage.
but it's interesting. It's because we service shops
oh wow,
or body shops, right? And it's like we don't get the calls from the shops for EV stuff, which means the local shops are not taking it on. So it's a weird disconnect kind of thing. The only thing, like, you could call a body shop and say, "Hey, I can disable the high voltage system before you guys get to work on it," or it's like, "Give me a call before you get into it, and then I can make sure that it's good to power down, et cetera, et cetera." But they should have training for that sort of stuff too.
Now you know this answer.
I buy my electrician tools from there.
Yeah, I know.
I got a Klein meter.
It's just funny because it's him. You get what I'm saying? Because it's him. And of all the people on social media, it's him. That says this. Yeah, this guy.
Klein tools.
Mm.
Nobody uses gloves while handling batteries or something inverters. Yeah, I've seen that. You can pull a Prius battery out. That's fine. Everyone's done it. It's not advised, but it's only if the contactors are stuck. That's when things get scary. Gino's getting attacked by a sumo wrestler.
yeah, this guy. His mom wants to go grab pizza.
Oh man. Hey, you teaching him about CAS and ISNs and encryption?
He will by 5, bro.
Hell yeah.
You're like, hey, this is a CAS 3 plus right here, all right?
Yeah.
You see this code?
We
It's a COS module. Pack and leave.
Pack and leave.
Might have a Prius battery. Scared.
Yeah, Zach just said he's. Yeah, always wear the
What did it
gloves.
feel like? Because I have never felt that.
It's funny, like, I don't know. Prius is like the first hybrid anyone ever works on, right? You change a Prius battery. People don't wear gloves. It just takes one time, like what happened there, I guess,
Yeah, I can say I've never felt a hybrid thing.
I don't
I've
want to
never
feel
been-
it.
I don't want.
I don't want
I
to
don't wanna
feel
know.
it. I'm okay.
I've always worn gloves, but yeah.
Spark plugs. Alone one of those. Listen, I don't need a hybrid shock. I'm good.
How many volts can we produce static wise?
That's a question
See,
for
the next
Volta.
question.
That guy knows everything.
Big old brain.
Yeah, that's who I call. That's my Google search. I call Volta. Hey, yo, Volta. Check this out. It has a code.
I don't know the
Everybody
answer
do.
to that one.
Big old brain he's got.
I just gotta tell him it has a check engine light. He knows what's up. All right, man. It's this.
I don't yeah. I don't know how many volts we can produce static wise, but I do know that even if you're wearing CSA high voltage protection boots and stuff, you are still a path to ground. That's how those little chicken testers thing for the outlets, you can just hold it up to the outlet to know if there's power. It's using you as a ground. That's how it works. Because you have the potential for ground. Anyways, we don't need to talk about it. Also, fun fact. You know the flute clamp meter? Basic
Has a
flute
recall?
clamp meter? No. There was one of them for electricians that has the open slot. It doesn't have the clamp on it. You can just stick it on the wire.
Uh-huh.
The one revision actually used you as a ground path. Yeah, all you had to do is hold the button. There's like a little button on the back.
And you were the ground.
And you were the ground. They revised it. The new one is I don't think has that. You need to manually hook up a ground. Ah, there's the beauty.
Let's see. I wonder who's still in here. That's why I threw this up here. What do we see here? This is for the viewers, by the way. What is happening right now? Primarily on the red and blue channels, right?
Taylor.
Let's see. I don't see this comment yet.
Oh, more case studies?
No GM. This is a Toyota.
This is Don posted this on his Instagram. So if you want to cheat, go to his Instagram, scroll back a million pages, and get the answer.
Like a year and some change.
Yeah, but this is the case that was like, wow, this guy is much smarter than me.
Yeah, right. It's funny because I was watching you doing the same thing. I was like, oh, this guy can do shit.
Nah, man. Volta's a wizard, man.
Yeah.
That guy, you call him and you think you know everything, you already covered every end, and that guy comes up with some weird shit, and you're like, you know, I never thought of that.
That's just it.
Every
It's
time.
weird stuff.
Hey, there was this Dodge Journey. I threw a fucking PCM and a RFH hub, bro, and it was a missing fuse. And Volta's was like reading the service information. He goes, "Yeah, check your fuses." And it was like those little hint, the little hint quotation under everything, or in the beginning when you first start reading. He's like, "Yeah, check your fuses," and I'm like, "Okay." Check my fuses, there's a missing fuse, and that's what it was, bro. A PCM and an RFH hub later, and 2 programming, bro. 2 Chrysler programmings.
Hey, it happens though. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
That's
You know,
just
hey,
that.
man.
We're human, just like everyone else. Man.
Yeah, man. Half the stuff that sometimes in service information wants you to replace 5 PCMs or 5 ECUs modules before it even solves the problem. I was like, nah, I'm human.
So this comment here, right? The Google.
The Google.
This is Joey. The Google is Joey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Stupid. Yeah, he's stupid smart, man. Like, hey, it's
Oh yeah,
ridiculous.
dude, that
It's
guy.
not this fucking man.
That guy's had our back.
I don't
Day
even
one, huh?
understand.
Done.
Yeah. That's actually when
Yeah,
I first started to
it's-
get to know him was because of that
Yeah,
car.
that we were struggling with trying to figure out. If it wasn't for him, man, that guy
Yeah.
really helped me out that day, man. Like just the knowledge
Indirectly.
about the dropped on us, indirectly,
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, hell yeah.
So what happened here is channel blue was obviously at can high, and then red channel was can low. What happened was the bus was talking just fine, and then a module woke up and started to talk. Well, the pin out going to the module was reversed. So can high was on low and low was on high. So when the module started talking, it sent a message backwards. And you can see our purple trace is the delta, right? The difference between channel 1 and channel 2. And you can see here's our 0 volts, and then there's our 2.5, right? So it went up and it was talking, and then here we go. We go the opposite direction.
That's a badass capture right there.
It is
Yeah,
like
no,
the
exactly.
greatest capture ever.
Yeah, right. Like right. I mean, just man.
Oh,
The red, the yellow, and the green was from a.
How long did it take you after you got this capture to realize what you like to actually realize?
Well,
what you see?
how I caught it was I was looking at the screen, thinking like, how the fuck is this module? How am I throwing this? It was a U code for the front radar for communication, and I was like, I'm looking at it, I'm like, how the fuck? It's working. Like I'm looking at the damn. I see waveforms. Like what the hell? Like nothing looks wrong. And I'm looking at it, and then all of a sudden I watched it go shoop, and I was like, holy shit. I was like, what the hell? How did blue go to the bottom? And then I just stopped it in time. And then I went back and I found it. And then I turned the truck off because it was like one of the last captures. It was like 1 of 32 or 1 of, I forget how many. So I turned it off and I restarted everything. I was like, I'm going to reset. I unplugged the module, turned on the car. I started the scope, and that's when I put my time base. And I forgot what my time base was, but then I plugged the module in, and then I watched it, and then I saw it happen. I was like, holy shit. I was like, there it is right there. And I was like, well, I mean, a module can't do that, can it? I don't know. But at this time, it's already had the third module put in it. So, I mean,
So
when I
it's
took
kind of hard
over,
to say it's a module, you know?
well, yeah, when I took over, I already had the third one put in. So I was like, okay.
There goes your shotgun.
Yeah, so when I saw this, exactly. I look at the connector and I'm like, okay, well, pin 5 should be this, pin 6 should be this color. And I'm looking at the connector, the wire colors, and I'm like, well, these are wrong compared to Toyota's service info. So then I unplugged it and I put my own power or my own wires to it, and I put power and ground with a probe, and I watched the scope come on, and I was like, okay, well, this is what high should be on this pin and low should be on this pin for sure. And I just swapped the wires over and put it back in, and code went inactive. I went and calibrated the front radar, and everything was working afterwards.
Oh, that's such a good capture.
That's badass, man.
So satisfying.
All right, man. Well, I'm out. I gotta go.
Yeah, I think I gotta go
Thanks
too,
everybody else.
Yeah,
You know,
appreciate
chimed in
everybody
and,
being on, man.
Yeah, and listening to
Yeah.
us just blab around about,
Yeah, it
amateur
was cool
experience
to
out there.
ramble. Yeah, it was cool to ramble on, chat with
So-
you guys.
We should do more live chats, more giveaways.
Wait, hold on. We didn't give away the fucking grand finale.
Yeah.
We didn't even give away the grand
Odd-
finale.
The OBD2 redo.
Who's left in here? There's 14 guys. So,
Let's see. Well, there's Zach. There's 2 Zachs in here. Taylor.
man.
Hey, yo, do I
Taylor.
count for the giveaway if I got a different
No.
name? on YouTube? No, okay.
You're gonna have a lot of fun there. On there.
I'm just asking,
Need
man.
to do this week. Seriously, hell of fun.
Well, it goes without saying, us as a group, we're very comfortable talking to each other. So doing this is kind of a unique venture. We really appreciate everyone that decided to just log with us and laugh and, all of our awkward pauses and whatever, we just, we just want to not keep the automotive industry as such a hush hush thing. We're all in it. So
Yeah. I mean, here to help as much as we can.
yeah.
So, how are we gonna do this grand finale before we get off? Because it's already 3 hours in.
Question, bro.
I don't know.
Yeah, one of you guys gotta ask a question, man.
I already did.
asked one.
I already did.
Well, no, you didn't.
Oh, it's fucking bad.
No. I'm Matic. Next live stream, I got a good one. I'm gonna come up with something good. I'm blank right now.
It means you have nothing right now.
That means it's all
No.
power.
Hey, I've seen a lot of crazy stuff out there. I always get the worst ones. I'm that
Yeah.
guy. The car
We didn't
guys
even
don't
talk
like
about
me, man.
your Land Rover.
Oh, man, that's a good one. That's a good.
oh.
Next live stream, we gotta talk about that one. That one,
Next time.
how much we thought we knew and we really didn't know nothing as a group. And we were out there thinking we knew shit. Yeah.
2006.
Land
What
Rover,
was it,
all keys lost, man.
Was it
Amateur
2006?
hour right there.
2006, 2005? I forgot.
The 06 Land Rover, man.
Oh man.
But let's do a giveaway and next live chat we'll talk about that one. We'll bring that.
All right,
that was a
all
good one, man.
Yeah, that was a good one.
The fixed error was the connector. The wires were pinned wrong in the connector.
From the previous
I'm
repair,
assuming,
right?
Yeah, I'm assuming that tech before me, he ran an overlay as per tech line, and I think he put it in backwards. So I believe one of the radars he put in fixed the issue, but then he created the issue because his code changed from a different U. It was like a U0235 to a 237 or something. I can't remember.
Okay, yeah.
But his DTC changed, and then that's when he was like fucking further lost. And then task got lost because they were like, "Why did you get a different code? Like, what the hell?" So, I forget this is the latency from the chat to from what we're actually saying.
Yeah. Taylor says we should do this weekly.
Oh god.
No JLR, please. No, man. Believe me, man. I was broke. I took on
We
the
should have
job. I should have probably never taken on the job, but I needed the money, and we came out victorious. I mean, we lost a lot of hair during that process. I mean, a lot of stress, man.
I'm already bald, baby. I don't lose hair.
Yeah, so, but yes, we will talk about that.
All right. So the final boss. Come on,
boss.
Kyle. This is all you, dude.
Oh man, what do you want me to do?
Come on. I don't know, dude. I don't know, but the final boss right here. I know.
Me, Mad
CG,
Dog,
you know
and
that
Don
bird.
Bald.
Look, hold on. Look at that. I got that
Did you
clean
run
going for
Oh, man.
I hate all this.
Okay. Super easy question. Everyone pay attention.
Okay.
This is gonna be like everyone is just gonna be like. All right. I'm assuming everyone's paying attention at this point because I've already
Make it a
asked.
scientific one, Volta. One of those that just stumps everybody.
No,
Yeah, right.
it's gonna be super easy. Super easy. I can't believe I'm asking this question. Okay. Key. So if how do I start? What is normal network resistance? Not easy.
I don't really know.
Hey,
that
what'd you
one.
say? What's normal? What?
Network resistance.
Let me Google it.
Everyone knows this.
Oh, right here. Winner.
Oh, there we go.
Winner,
We
chicken
got
dinner. There you go.
I thought it was that. I thought I was close.
Damn, dude.
Oh man. Oh, I'm
Hey,
sorry,
Jesus.
Taylor.
Hopefully you're following me on Instagram or Kyle, one of us, MadTech. Reach out to one of us. Just send us a DM, if you will, and we'll get your mailing address. So he won this code reader.
Hell yeah, man.
And Wright won one of the pulse sensors, and then Robert won the other. Robert, I can message. I talked to him. Jesus_WRX 2012. My username. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, well, shoot us a message, man.
Man, that must have been so tough. Everyone's like, I'm typing in the wrong number.
I gotta go for you guys on that cam resistance. Spot on. I should message you. Yeah, dude, go for it. Message me.
Yeah, message
and
message
I'll
either
chat
of
with
us,
you.
any one of us.
I'll chat with you and we'll get it going.
So I'll just
What's up?
leave
Hold
this
on,
a
Taylor's
little.
got it.
I got a good one for you guys. That with cam resistance. What you mean? Well,
It's not
I'm confused.
I don't know.
What is he gonna say?
I don't know.
Imagine he just leaves.
He probably just leaves. Right? We're just here waiting.
Bye.
Like, yeah, we're ready to go. Oh, okay.
Well, okay. While we're waiting, our next live stream, I don't know when it's going to be. We will have another giveaway.
Yeah.
I've got it right here. I won't show you the brand, but it's in this box that you can't see. Unless
I
I
can't
turn off
see. You
my
got it.
virtual.
You're gonna have to. You see, you probably got to
Virtual
stand there
camera.
too.
It's in this box.
Yeah. No. 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 There you are. All
It's
right,
in this box.
You got a
Big box. Not showing you the brand or what it is, but we'll be giving it away.
Hey, Susan, I just got your message, man. So we'll get it sent out to you.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah, it was cool. It's cool to fuck around on a Saturday night.
DM later. Yeah, well, I mean, Saturday night of all things. That's precious time for a lot of people. So
I thought it was good. Yeah,
Zach, oh my
whenever.
God. Oh, man.
I was gonna phrase it in a way as like, okay, so first you remove the negative terminal from the battery, and then what should your network resistance be? Oh my gosh, this what's
Well, right on, guys. Appreciate everybody
Right.
coming out, hanging out with us.
Appreciate it,
Everybody
guys.
enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll catch you guys on the next live stream.
Matt, take out.